My mission.
Your team is banning.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I
Who said
welcome
there are
you
no
all to
shortcuts in
another
life?
exciting
I
day
literally
of the
invented
Royale Rumble
one.
Showdown, brought to you by Thunder Esports. And today's match is between the two teams which we know very well. It is Lakshmi Chit Fund going up against John Tonsing, and both of these teams are so good that they do not need any introduction. But there is someone who is there to give you the introduction today. It will be none other than Peachy. Peachy, what do you think? You know both these teams very well. So what do you think? Both the teams will be looking to play today and come up on top.
Oh my God. Hello, everyone, and hello, Fredo. It's been a very
The hunt
exciting match.
begins.
Look at
Your
that.
team
Top
is
of the
banning.
top teams are battling it out for the victory, for a position into that grand finals. This is the semi-finals for the lower brackets, and the winner of this match will be actually fighting out for the position into the grand finals with the ZOHUNT later this evening.
I
So
am not the
I
only
think
one
Your
bound by
definitely,
team
these
is
both the
banning.
teams are
chains.
aiming for that spot in that grand final. So yes, this is going to be pretty interesting. But diving into the draft already, Fredo, look at that. The heroes, those are pretty annoying into the meta. They are already taken off. A Phobius, a Ruby has been a perma ban. I have noticed, in this level,
Sir,
where we are
what's
in
your
this
command?
Your
tournament right
team
now.
is
But on
banning.
the other hand, a chip has been banned. Even though there is a nerf
Still
on the chip,
waters run deep.
it is
Your
still
team is
viable. Look at that,
picking.
Fredo.
Yeah, the chip has been banned. Of course, the shortcut does come handy in a lot of team fight situations. But on the other side, the Fanny has been banned because they really want to respect Lom Lom Mai on the other side, because we know how good he is on those assassin heroes. At the same time,
I
I
am
do
the
see that
priestess
the
of
Alice has
primal
been left
lightning,
Your
open.
team
the
is
hunter of
So the
all
Alice
the
is still
evil
up for grabs
gods.
for both sides. You know how strong the Alice is risen after the recent patch update, especially because of the update on that Clock of Destiny as well. So do you think Alice will be picked up by either side in this game? And the first pick will be that Edith coming in from the side of John Tonsing.
Highly possible. Yes, I really want to see that Alice play coming in into the goal lane because, as you mentioned, the Clock of Destiny has been buffed, and it is one of the core items for her. So yes, she might be playing, or maybe a Harith as well. These are the most popular options right now into the goal lane. But on the other hand, the Fanny ban already there, or the Ling ban coming in from the side of team
Fleeting as a
LCF, they are just
Your
snowflake's
not
team is
breath,
wasting. But
picking.
an
as
Edith will be traded
timeless as a
for that
glacier's
Grok as
heart.
well as the Aurora. Aurora pick right ahead. I am really not sure, but she could be countered by Valentina. So maybe Team Tonsing might go for that. Don't you think so, Fredo?
Yeah, you are right. The Frigid Glacier can be copied up by that Valentina. So the Valentina will be a very good pick here. But we're not really sure of the other picks which will be happening on the other side. So yeah, it might be a little bit soon to pick up that Valentina right now. I mean, they already have the mage on the other side, so there's
True
no
love
chance that
is
they're going
like
to pick the
medicine.
Valentina away.
Sanjo.
And yep,
Your
that is
team
why
is
the Valentina
picking.
might be getting picked later, and the picks coming in will be the Carmilla and the Hayabusa. The Hayabusa, though, we know how good Capricuti is on that Hayabusa, so it will be something to watch out in this game as well. But the Fanny has been banned, the Ling has been banned, the Hayabusa has been picked up. So I'm really starting to wonder what Lom Lom Mai will be thinking to pick up in this game. We did see his Nolan recently, him playing Nolan a lot. So yeah, I guess the Nolan is still open and they might be looking to pick up that Nolan. But right now, team LCF are still yet to pick up the last hero in this first phase of the draft. So what do you think they will be thinking to pick this time?
Definitely. Maybe they will be
I
picking
am
that
more
something to
than a
counter that
weapon.
Hayabusa, but looks like it will be a Julian, okay. I was hoping more kind of alpha. I'm
I
really
didn't
not
feel
sure
the
alpha who
pain.
is actually
Your
I
tanky.
team
hunt.
is
He
banning.
deals that true damage, so that might have been the play, but there is a lot of CC coming in, from the Carmilla as
May
well
the
as the
blood of my
Ed,
enemies
Your
if the
flow
Curse
team
from
of
my
Luck
is banning.
spear.
connects and as well as the Earthquake Shatter connects to, one of the heroes, I think that is a problem for them. And a Carmilla and a Edith combo, it is a very, very good combo. So with that, you guys, I don't think that Alpha would have made that play. Or maybe an Xbox would have done it as well. But look at that. Team LCF, they already banned out the Valentina because they know that it can be countered. The Aurora, the Valentina can actually pick up from, the Wild Charge or maybe the Frigid Glacier as well. And along with that, a Mincitar has been banned. Do you think that the Harith will be picked from the side of Team John Tonsing right now?
Yeah, it's very possible that they will
Hope
be
will
picking up
find a
that
way,
Harith.
Your team
But the
even
is
when
thing is
all is
banning.
that
forlorn.
even though the Valentina is not open to counter that Frigid Glacier, the Faramis is still open, for the side of team John Tonsing. So it's very possible they might be looking to pick the Faramis as well to counter. But the Mincitar ban is so good for them because the Hayabusa is already picked up, and if the enemy decides to pick up that Mincitar in those team fights, once Hayabusa
I
pops out his
am
ultimate,
Your
and if he is
vengeance
team is
caught
banning.
inside that
incarnate.
ultimate of Mincitar, inside the King's Calling, then he won't be able to retreat back to his shadow. So yeah, it will be a very good, ban coming in from the side of team John Tonsing, banning out that Mencita and also the Moskov to finish off. I mean, very good bans, and the side of team LCF is really choking down the hero pool of the mid lane because they really know that who is Peter really wants to control that mid lane. So yeah, it's a very good ban coming in from the side of team LCF as well.
Light me up
I
and
do
watch the
agree with you,
Your
world
team
Fredo.
is
Look at
burn!
picking.
that. They already made sure that they won't be picking up any of the mages that are annoying into the mid lane. Since Team John Tonsing, they really don't have a mage yet. They are yet to pick up. So I'm looking at the mages. They might go in for maybe an Alice mage could come into the play, but I was not expecting that Xbox to be played into that EXP lane, Fredo.
Yeah, you are right. The Xbox was a very unexpected one. I did not expect it as well because I mean they do have tanky heroes on the other side, but a lot more options are open in this game. Like the Katot Kacha, it could even be
Among the
the Khalid
planes
here because the
exists
Khalid
the
is so good as a wave
equilibrium,
player
which
and he
I
can
was
rotate even
made
faster
for.
as well. So that is why
My
the Khalid would have been a better
Your
option here.
team
But
is
let's
picking.
see the Xbox how it plays out for them. And like you said, the Harith has been picked up, and oh my God, we're seeing a Yve here. I mean, a Yve is not the most common pick here in the Indian server in the Indian subcontinent. It is it is used a lot in the Philippines and Indonesia right now. But the Eve will be introduced into the meta maybe for the first time by the side of Team John Tonsing here.
Come
The
on,
zone
Dexter.
coming
It's
out
our
from that
showtime.
Eve, the potential of zoning out during those team fights due to that real world manipulation is so high, and it will come in very useful during those team fights. And with that, to finish up the draft, the side of Team LCF will be picking up that Claude. The Claude going up against the Harith, I do feel like the Harith will have an advantage. But why do you think they have decided to pick up the Claude here?
A Claude pick coming in. Okay. Maybe it could be a comfort pick coming in. But I do, like, as you mentioned, that Claude might have that hard time to him. I do think so that he might be having a real hard time because Harrod deals that magic damage. He has that mobility. Even Claude has that mobility, but he might be able to escape that. But he really needs that support from his team. And with that, we are already into the loading screen. This is going to be a match between Team LCF versus Team
Welcome
John
to
Tonsing
Mobile
for
Legends!
that spot into the grand finals.
5 seconds
And
till
welcome to
the
the
enemy reaches the
Land of Dawn,
battlefield.
guys.
Smash
So we
them!
will be watching this match. So this is me
Ultras
and
deployed!
this is Peachy and Fredo.
Yeah, and look at that. The rotations have already begun. The Proc will be, helping out in the jungle area first to clear paths for the Julian. The Julian, we already know how good he is when he gets that level 2. He doesn't even need that level 4. But on the other hand, the Hayabusa needs that level 4. So yeah, he really needs to be quick as well to catch up on the Julian's power spike. But so far, the the Grok is giving a good amount of vision, as well as the Carmilla. Both the roamers are doing pretty good job so far. But the Aurora is doing so much damage on that Carmilla right now. Look at that, he's taken down so low.
Yes, that is true. The domination coming in from Horus Peter, it is strong. He has been playing those heroes for very, very long time. So he knows how to poke them. On the other hand, there is a Hayabusa on your opponent and you're a Aurora. Aurora, she has a pride of ice, so that
My
is
God, look at
where.
that. Did he see it? No, he did not. Hayabusa has the level 4, but not enough damage coming in though. And he might be able to escape. Oh my God, the Hayabusa! He did such a nice, nice skill level there. I mean, sorry, the squad shadow connecting so well. And the damage coming in from that shadow was able to take down Long Mai. Oh my God, that's a disastrous start for LCF.
Yes, I do agree with you, Fredo, but they are trying to go in. Maybe the wall is already placed in. Carmilla is very low. She might survive this, and yes, she did survive that. On the other hand, coming back to my point, I have to say that Aurora really needs her passive up because the OE shadow kills will be making a lot of damage, and she really has to survive that, Fredo.
Yeah, you are right about that. But look at that, the Xbox already level 4, and the idiot just got her level 4 as well. So yeah, both the EXP laners will get their level 4 before the turtle is started. So yeah, the team fight is still level up, level on both hands. But meanwhile, the Grok's HP is low compared to the enemy roamer. So yeah, that might be a disadvantage. But he has that wall to poke them out. Look at that. The Xbox trying to zone over the Hayabusa. The zoning coming in from both teams is so good. And Julian will come out on top and take the turtle. The real one manipulation has been used as well. The last insanity has been popped. The shuriken blades connecting so well. Double kill already for that Hayabusa. The Eve is also doing enough damage, and my God, they did get the turtle, but the trade went into the favor of John Tonsing.
Yes, that is true, Fredo. Looks like Team John Townsend will be punishing LCF for stealing away that turtle. This is looking strong for Team John Townsend. Right now, they have secured the early game onto their side, despite as we all know, how Julian is the king of early game. But I think the support from the side of Team LCF is still there, but they really need to wait it out for the mid game or maybe the late game as well. Don't you think so, Fredo?
Yeah, they really need to, wait a little bit so that they can get the damage, especially that Claude, the Claude will be the one, causing the havoc in the enemy backline. And look at that, the quad shadow connected so well, and that's why Long Mai will be going down again in his own jungle area. This does not look good right now because the jungler is down 0-3-0. Not the best start right now for Lakshmi Chitwan because the jungler, I mean, look at that. The Julian is the one who should be dominating, but it is the Hayabusa instead.
Yes, Fredo, that is true. Looks like Hayabusa got that tempo to himself, so he is actually being aggressive as he should. Probably his items are already up as well. But on the other hand, it has been poking the Claude as well a lot. Look at that, he has been harassing that Claude. Even in the bot lane, we do see a similar kind of team fight coming in, but looks like Hayabusa is there.
Yeah, he did try to get the kill, but the Firaga armor was up, so yeah, he was not able to do enough with that shadow. But for now, it does feel like the second turtle is up already. And they will be looking to take a fight here this time. Lakshmi Chitwan really needs to come out on top in that team fight so that they can do something. But the real manipulation will not, allow them to do anything which they want. But look at that. The turtle will be taken down by Hayabusa this time. The last insanity has been popped as well. The damage coming in from the real one manipulation is just way too much to handle. The Grok tries to make an escape using that flicker. But look at that, the Idiot is still going in with that ultimate, and oh my God, the Grok will get taken down inside his own tower. Oh my God, that's disastrous. I mean, Lakshmi Chitfund really need to do something here, or else this game is getting out of hands.
Yes, I agree with you, Fredo. Look at that. A score of 8-4-2 already. We are just into the early game, but looks like Claude has other plans. He used up his blazing duet to clear up those minions. He knows that he will be getting ganked very soon because he is farming up, and he will be the one carrying the game. So I think they are just waiting it out for the Claude to pick up the tempo for the game. But on the other hand, Claude, look at him. He's already into the mid lane. He is farming those minions for himself.
Yeah, and the amount of damage this Grog is taking is just way too much. Oh my god, look at that. The use of the shadow. So good coming in from QT, able to secure that kill onto that Doctor. And look at that. They're still ganking down the Claude, and the Claude will get taken down as well. Both the enemy goal laner and roamer being punished for their mistakes. Not a very good game today for Team LCF.
Looks like that is the case for now, but there is no one right now to stop that Hayabusa. Take it away, Fredo. It looks like that team fight is starting up.
Yeah, it does feel like the real world manipulation has been popped as well. The Carmilla's torso blood has been connected too. Because of that, two members going down already. The third and the fourth will be going down as well. It's almost a complete wipeout. Yes, it is a complete wipeout for the side of Team LCM. The plot just resurrected. So yeah, it might not count as a wipeout technically, but it did feel like it's a wipeout. And look at that, he's trying to defend the mid lane tower. He knows it's a very important resource, but the Iris ultimate, he tries to take him down, but there's not enough damage on him. The mobility is high of that Claude. The mid lane turret will still go down though.
Oh, I really thought that he might have cleared those minions up because it is important. He used up his blazing duet as well, but unfortunately he was not successful. Team LCF, they are farming it out. They have to farm it right now because the gold gap, it is increasing by time, and since the kill gaps are so wide right now, 14 for a 3, are you kidding me? They have to farm it out. They have to play it very slow. They don't have to pick a fight. But on the other hand, Team John Tonsing, they are picking up a fight. They are showing that aggression. They are showing the dominance that they should, because they have the goal to themselves. They do have all the resources for themselves.
Yeah, but one thing which I'm really, curious about here is why the Hayabusa, even though he has got so many kills, he decided that in this game he doesn't need that Sky Piercer. I don't know why that is. But meanwhile, they're trying to gank that top lane tower and trying to take it down. And there's only the Grog. The Grog doesn't really need to do that without the backup. Oh my god, nice wild card, but not connecting onto two members, just one. On that Carmilla, he will be the one getting taken down. And the Hayabusa uses his shadow to try to poke that Claude down. But there's just not enough, enough damage for them to defend the tower at the moment.
Fredo, like the shadows were so perfect coming in from Hayabusa into the last minute, last few seconds. He could have went in for the Claw to pick off, but I don't think he made that because again he's trying to go in. Looks like he will be saving up his OEG shadow kill.
And yeah, the Aurora will be taken down. The real world manipulation is doing so much damage right now. And look at that, the amount of damage. The Hayabusa is able to kill that Grok so easily, like he's not even a tank at the moment. So it's a complete, I've said this word so many times because in this game, LCF doesn't seem to be doing what they do. They really, like to utilize that early game for themselves. They really like to take the lead, take the tempo in their own hands. But in this game, John Tonsing just showing more resilience, more determination, more composure in this game and not letting them do what they like to do.
That is the case right here. Team LCF, they have to step up. They have to defend those turrets. Right now, they are all pushed behind that inhibitors, but look at the itemization coming in. Team LCF, they lack those items, barely 1 or 2. 2 is the max that I could say, but on the other side, 3 items already, maybe 4 items as well. Looking at the Grok, he already made up his radiant armor. That Eve is pretty annoying. Yes, she is annoying, and he's trying to tank it all up, but the Hayabusa is there. Hayabusa is not leaving him. A tanky hero like a Grok is getting melted by that Hayabusa just because there is a goal difference.
Yeah, the Grok should be able to, take his ultimate as well as the damage coming in from his basic attacks. But right now, even the Shuriken which he throws is doing so much damage onto him. because of which he's not able to sustain. He doesn't have any physical defense yet, just that radiant armor. So yeah, the Hayabusa is able to take down the Brock quite easily. They will be looking to take out down this mid lane tower. They are trying to do it, but the Brock has used his wall and the wild charge as well. The Curse of Blood has connected onto that Aurora there, but not enough damage. Look at that Claude trying to dive into the enemy backline. And he will be able to do so, getting the kill on that Claude, but Claude has been zoned out completely. He's left alone there. The Edith will flicker in, and he will get taken down in that jungle area. And right now, it does seem like they have managed to defend all the inhibitors. A very nice defense coming in, despite the gold difference which they have.
Yes, that is true. Since this is the level 1 Lord, it does not do much to the turrets. But the level 2 Lord, the level 3 Lord, that is where the problem lies. And Team LCF, they have to battle it out for that retribution. They have to show them the domination right now. Because if Team John Tonsing gets that Lord again, the inhibitors will be pushed, and that might be the end for Team LCF. But on the other hand, maybe the Hayabusa is looking for some trouble.
Yeah, he did wanted to take that Claude down while he was there defending the tower alone, but yeah, the battle mirror image coming in so well. Look at that, the amount of CC connecting, and look at that Curse of Blood has been used as well. The real manipulation is doing so much damage right now. The Harry charges in to secure those kills, and 4 members taken down, and it will be the victory for Team John Tonsing.
Looks like no Lord was needed, and Team John Tonsing winning out the first match of our best of 3 series. Looks like the MVP going into the hands of Carmilla, rightfully so, because that Curse of Blood was always on point, and it enabled the Hayabusa to go in and to get the Uigi Shadow kill. This was a very good gameplay coming in from Team John Tonsing right now. But on the other hand, even Hayabusa should have been crowned as the MVP. He was there in every single team fight.
But the damage coming in from that Carmilla's Curse of Blood, because of which the damage multiplication so much coming in from that Eve there. Look at that, the damage dealt by that Eve. The Eve, it's a very, very new thing for the Indian side, I guess, the introduction of Eve in this meta. And with that, it might even be just the beginning of this Eve in the Indian server, because right now we see Easy on their Eve dealing the most amount of damage and zoning them out pretty well with that real world manipulation. And in the next game, we will see if LCF can come out on top again, because they are the ones who do have an upper hand in this game, because they are the fan favorites. They are also the ones who have the better odds here. But with that, we'll be coming back soon, and stay tuned for the next match, because this is the qualifiers for the lower bracket semifinals. Welcome back again. This is the second match of the best of 3 series between Team LCF and Team John Tonsing. In the last game, we saw how John Tonsing was able to get that early game advantage, even though the Team LCF had a better early game composition, especially because of that Julian, that Aurora, that Grok in the mid lane. But this time we see, we will expect Team Lakshmi Chittfund to make a comeback, because this is the best of three, and the winner will be heading in for that upper bracket semi-final against
My
ZOHUNT, who
mission
have
is
already
to protect
qualified,
Your team
lives.
is banning.
defeating team eliminators. So yeah, it's a very very tough match, as well as the team Zohan, sorry, John Tonsing did prove that they are also not a joke to be taken. So yeah, with that, casting today with me will be none other than your favorite caster, Peachy. Peachy, do you think LCF will be able to make a comeback in this game?
Fredo, highly possible because they just lost it out into the first match and they know that they have to
Who said there
retaliate
are
back.
no
They have to
shortcuts in
show them
life?
the
Your team
I
aggression
literally
that Team
invented
invented.
one.
LCF every single time shows. Look at that Team John Tonsing already, choking down those heroes for the Team LCF again and again. They are banning out the same heroes, but on the other hand, looks like Team LCF are on the blue side this time. What will be they picking? Maybe a Xbox jungle, or maybe a assassin coming in, or maybe a Ling as well, because a Ling could be traded out, but I'm not sure. There are still a lot of good EXPs yet to be paid. Maybe an Edith could come into a play.
Yeah, the Edith, as the first pick, the Edith is a very, very safe pick,
Your
because,
team is
oh, look at
picking.
that. But Lom Mai will be locking in one of his signature heroes, the Hayabusa. We know how Lom Mai is so good on those assassins, and because of that, he will be locking in already on that Hayabusa, even though the enemy has a
May the
lot of
blood of
picks
my
remaining in
enemies
that
flow
first
from my spear.
draft. Look at that. The Minsitara has been locked in already. The Khalid might get locked in as well on that EXP lane. But
hope
not to
will find
mention,
a way,
in the
Your
last
team
even
game,
is
when all
they,
is
picking.
both the
forlorn.
teams, they left out that Alice in the goal lane. And this time, I do feel like, Team LCF will look to pick up that Alice, because the Alice does have a very, very good late game scaling, because of which he will be able to provide the enough damage in those team fights when it approaches the late game or the mid game.
Okay, yes, that is true, Fredo, but looking at the composition coming in from Team John Tonsing, a Minsitar has been prioritized. That means that Team LCF, they
Gaze the
really cannot
stars
play
and
a
seek your
Harriet right
path.
now. And even if they do, they have to make sure to shut down the Minsitar. But I'm curious to know if the Harriet is going to be
I'm the priestess
played
of
at the
primal
gold lane,
lightning, your
or
team, the
maybe as
hunter
the
of
roam,
all the
or
evil
will it be the
gods.
EXP lane? Only will time tell, because we are already heading towards the draft. I'm looking at the Edith pick as well. Looks like Team LCF have picked it up for themselves, but the classic low E pick coming in from who is Peter. There we go, one of my favorite heroes, and I'm truly excited to see.
Yeah, who is Peter?
Gaze
One of the
upon
best
the
Your
edge
team
of the
mages
is
right now
banning.
in
void.
the country. That mid lane, he just dominates it. He just owns that mid lane, and we will be excited to see how he uses this low E to carry LCF to the semi-finals, because that's what they really want at this moment. But meanwhile, Capricuti will be picking up that Nolan there. The Nolan right now so dominant in the jungle role because of the way he farms. He farms up so fast.
For
He rotates
honor!
so fast,
Your
and the
team
damage
is
output as
banning.
well. On top of that, recently they just gave him that slow on that ultimate. So yeah, a lot of things going in that Nolan pick right now, because it's very very a very very good advantageous pick against that Hayabusa. But in those team fights, we will be really interested to see if that Hayabusa will be able to make those outplays against that Minsitar, because the Minsitar, I mean, his King's Calling just cancels everything that the Hayabusa can use. So it will be very interesting to find out if Lom Mai has that skill in him to pull off something against in this in this kind of composition, which does
Sand
not even
rises when I
favor him.
give the
Your
word.
team is banning.
Okay, since Are is the one who plays the roam for the team John Townsend, I do think that he might be the roam
Welcome
right
to
now,
my
a
Your
roam
castle,
team
Minsitar
is
my
coming in,
banning.
friend.
but it will be a strong pick coming in. But look at that, team John Townsend, they are choking down that tank picks already. I was not expecting a Tigreal ban to come in, maybe some sort of Xbox ban or probably a Alpha ban coming in. That was very good because even though they have picked up a jungler, they might go in for the EXP lane. So I was probably thinking that because Edith is another versatile hero. She could be played into the roam as well. So we are not sure. But again, the Khalid being picked off, the last ban coming in from Team LCF, maybe a Claude or maybe some marksman
Light
sort of.
me
That is
up
what I'm
and watch
expecting.
the
Your
But
team
looks
world
is
like
picking.
burn.
they will be banning up an Xbox.
Yeah, so it seems like LCF has targeted that EXP lane. Meanwhile, Team John Tonsing has
Your
targeted
team is
that
picking.
roam section. So yeah, with that, the first pick coming in will be that Gatot Kacha. That means that the enemy side have to be really careful if they're looking to pick up a marksman here, especially because the Gatot Kacha, I mean, any marksman you say other than that Edith there, he can just melt down in one or two, one or two of his, enhanced basic attacks because the grades coming in, I mean the amount of damage he does, and because of that he will be the one who will be able to shut down those marksmen easily if team LCF decides to pick one of them. But because of that I do feel like they will be looking
I
to pick.
am vengeance
Oh my god.
incarnate.
Oh my god, literally
Your team is picking.
a Moscow against Gatot Kacha. It seems like this is a deja vu happening right now because we have seen this thing before. We have seen a Moscow going up against Gatot Kacha, and the Moscow just got deleted instantly because of that basic attack coming in from that Gatot Kacha. So powerful, just one or two punches and he's dead.
Yes, that is a deja vu, and Moscow really has to position himself where he won't be getting one-shotted by that Gatot unless Moscow gets carried, Moscow gets that farm for himself. It is highly possible that they could go make that play. But on the other hand, looks
Come
like
on, Dexter.
Johan will
It's
be
our
picking up
showtime.
a Kufra. Pretty strong coming in, and the synergy as well, with the Loi, with the Edith. I think this is going in perfect. Looks like they will be swapping up those heroes for themselves. But again, a Claude has been picked to counter that Moscow. What do you think about that, Fredo?
Claude against the Moscow is very good as well because the burst coming in from his blazing duet is enough to out damage that Moscow when he tries to land those basic attacks on him. So that is why the Claude is a very good hero for laning against that Claude. But with that, the drafts have been completed. We are on to the land of dawn already. We are on that loading screen right now, and you can see both the drafts look pretty good to me, especially that Minsitar pick is the key pick here for the side of Team ZOHUNT to shut down that Hayabusa, as well as that
Welcome
Moskov
to
there, because the
Mobile
Moskov
Legends.
also does have those dashes which can be can be cancelled
5
by that
seconds till
Minsitar's
the
ult.
enemy reaches
So yeah,
the
it will be a very
battlefield.
interesting matchup to
Smash
watch.
them.
But on the other side, we have that
Ultra
Kufra as well on the hands of Team Lakshmi Chitpan. So it will be very interesting to see if the Minsitar as well as that Kufra can do what they are picked up to do in this game.
Yes, Fredo, look at that. The aggression already, and look like, even though Loi is not level 2, she is already bursting down, coming in from the skill 1. On the other hand, she has been spotted by the tanks. So, looks like it is a Minset and Roam coming in. I was not expecting that because it's been ages we have seen a Minsitar Roam coming in. On the other hand, look at that team, John Tonsing, they are already picking those creeps up for themselves. The aggression, they are trying to make sure that the Hayabusa won't get any farm from the battle. The trans range connecting there onto that Vexana.
Yeah, good amount of poke coming in though. Oh my goodness, look at that. The Nolan is very low. Oh my god, the dash coming in as well. He will be able to escape, but look at that Minsitar. He is zoned out completely from his teammates, and he will be the one getting taken down instead of that Nolan there. The Hayabusa has his level 4, he still has his ultimate. Vexana, the Nolan have to be really careful there because if the if the Hayabusa decides to use his ultimate, there is no escape from that.
Yes, Fredo. I am really liking that early aggression already since Minsitar was caught in a very bad position. But look at that. Maybe into the bot lane there is some skirmish going on, but looks like that is just not the case for now. Team Tonsing, they are trying to get a river control. Both LCF and Team Tonsing, I have to say, because the turtle is up, the first turtle of our second match.
Yeah, and the Hayabusa just using those shadows to poke down and see if there's something that he can pick up. But for now, the turtle has been zoned out pretty well. Oh my god, the damage coming in on that Minsitar, just able to take him down instantly. That low E there. And look at that, the Katot Katas Avatar of Guardian has been used as well. The damage, look at that, the Hayabusa has popped up his ultimate at the right moment, taking down the Vixana solo. I do not think the side of Team LCF is in any position, the side of Team John Thompson is in any position to contest that turtle. But meanwhile, look at that Nolan, so sneaky there, trying to, get that blue instead of the turtle there. And that means it's a pretty even trade on the, on the hands of the junglers.
I do agree with you, but the gold from the turtle, it will be transferred to every single members of LCF, so they do have an advantage for themselves for now. But since the early game is already picked off onto the side of Team LCF, it is looking good. The sun has definitely shined onto their favors, but I don't know that if Team John Tonsing they have to retaliate or not, because it is a Nolan. Nolan has to. Okay, wait a minute.
From that Minsitar, a nice ultimate connecting onto two members inside the bush. And look at that, both of them taken down so low. And Ruiz Peter will be taken down. Avatar of Guardian has been popped as well. The enemy mage will go down as well. Look at that, the hook connecting onto Moskov. The Moskov trying to dash, not enough though. And the turret will be the one doing the damage to take him down rear.
Very odd position coming in from Moscow already. Even though, wait a minute, onto the top lane, look at that. There are a lot of damage onto that Claude. Looks like Claude will be using up his Blazing Duet to escape that. But, breaking down the team fight just happened. It was definitely into the favor of Team John Townsend. That Flicker King's calling just hit right on spot, and that Louis and even the Cobra was caught in a very odd position. That is what Team John Tonsing need right now.
Yeah, John Thompson seem like, they have a better synergy right now. And look at that. I mean, the Nolan and the Gatot Kacha are doing so well on that EXP lane, just not letting that Ibit get that domination there. And, the flicker out from Minsitar, oh my god, it was just so unexpected and so nice to look at coming in from the side of John Thompson.
Oh, yes, definitely, Fredo. But on the other hand, look at that. Looks like a team fight has broken up.
Yeah, the Claude just going down. Oh my god, keeps calling, connecting so well. The stacks are there from the Louis. The chain reaction is there. The Gatot Kacha uses Avatar of Guardian as well. Enough damage coming in. Look at that Moskov. The vengeance is there though to deflect all that damage. The Edith, her skills do not connect. Not the best thing to happen at this moment. But somehow able to get that kill onto that Minsitar.
Escape already coming on. It is a 1-to-1 trade coming in for Hayabusa for that, the Claude, not the Claude, but looks like it will be the Minsitar. I'm really not sure how it is because it is a roamer for a jungler, not a very good trade. Looks like the turtle is up for a grab. This will be the second turtle already. But I have to come to a fact that we have a Nolan on the side of Team John Tonsing, and Nolan really has to snowball that game maybe onto there. Oh, okay, looks like another team fight is coming up.
Yeah, it does feel like the team fight might take place right now because the skills are already. Oh my god, the Kupra's flicker, it misses out. The range was not enough. And with that, a lot of resources have been just wasted right now. There is information on the other side though. Look at that. The diversion coming in so well. The Gatot Kacha gets pulled off. Oh my god, a very nice combination. Two members getting taken down from the side of Team John Tonsig. That gameplay coming in from that diversion by Ruiz Peter. So good to look at, so good to watch. My goodness, it's just a treat for the eyes at the moment. Look at that, the Claude has already used his battle mirror image. So yeah, somehow not able to, get that Claude down. But the amount of, oh, look at that, the damage coming in from that Hayabusa. The Nolan barely able to escape there.
Oh my god, this is what the game gets interesting because of that low ease diversion plays. This is what I really want to see coming in, and that is what Peter is showing us. On the other hand, the damage from the Hayabusa, it is a lot. They are retaliating back. In the last game, they really did not have anyone to pin down that Hayabusa, and even in this game, from the side of Team John Tonsing, they have the Minster to pin him down, but Minster is getting picked off right before the team fight starts. So that is where the problem is for the side of Team John Tonsing right now.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're completely right. And it is who is Peter who has taken that responsibility of taking down that Minsitar so that the Hayabusa can come in and do the thing which he's here to do, to take down that Claw, to take down that Vexana, to take down that Nolan as well. And with that, look at that. That diversion has been just used to get into that bot lane area to take down that Claude, but Claude is careful as well. And look at that, the camp in that mid lane area inside those bushes. Look at that conceal play coming in. Not the best though. Oh my god, the Nolan gets taken out of position and he will be the one going down. But a lot of damage being placed right now. King's Calling has been used as well. Avatar of Guardian. The battle mirror image is still there to make that Claude go alive. Yes, he will be escaping, but a lot of heroes going down one by one. The mage and the marksman still able to survive. That mid lane tower might be going down though. Look at that. Lom Lom Mai onto that Vexana, secures the kill. And a lot of potential right now being shown by the side of Team LCF to make that comeback.
Okay, a 1-for-4 trade. This is what I did not want to see. And John Tonsing, they really have to shut down that Moscow, the Harris, the Louis as well. So Louis is the one who is displacing them with Yin and Yang combo and surprising them with the diversion play as well. So that is where they need to see and try to choke them down. But on the other hand, that is not possible because Kufra is they're looking at. Kufra trying to get it to try and rage on them, but revenge on them, but it is not connecting. On the other hand, it does connect. I have seen him giving that combo coming in, maybe a 2-man or a 3-man. That is pretty strong coming in from Team LCF right now.
Yeah, both of the teams, especially the side of Team LCF, they are showing a really, really better gameplay than the last game this time. It seems like they have found, their compositions synergy, and the Louis seems like she's a very, very out of position right now, and she will get taken down. The diversion play not working out in their favor. Team LCF losing their main protagonist of the game. Peter will be going down, and with that, the Lord has already marched on. The lanes have been synced perfectly though, and they might be looking to take a potential engage onto that Nolan there.
Okay, look at the damage coming in from Moscow. That is a lot. Even the Nolan really could not come near a Moscow, since Moscow is very squishy hero, and that there is a possibility that Nolan can pick up. But the snowball is not happening on the side of from Team John Tonsing. They are lacking right now a 13 for a 5, but that flicker King's Calling play that caught Peter right where that Team John Tonsing wanted.
Yeah, and the Minsita just need to get those plays again, taking out Peter first so that the enemy can do what they want in this game. Even though the Hayabusa has been picked, the main protagonist in this game is Peter, and look at that, the jump coming in from the Kufra. A lot of skills are being used at the moment, but oh my god, they are not looking to take an engage at the moment. They know that the Lord is coming up very soon, and they do not want to lose any members. Both the teams are very careful at the moment, especially Capri QT on that Nolan. He really needs to get that retribution right this time for them to stand a chance to win this game. And if they do not do that, I do not feel like the enemy has the best situation to be able to defend the next Lord, especially the Luminous Lord.
That Lord will be creating a lot of damage because right now Team LCF, they have this advantage. They are pushing back Team John Tonsing towards their tower. This is what we seen into the last match, the match 1. Again, in the bush. Wait a minute, kind of a situation coming in, but looks like Edith will spotted right there by the good Kacha. On the other hand, I want to see a diversion play coming in. Looks like they have already gone towards the top lane. A conceal play also coming in as well.
Yeah, but there was no one there in the top lane area. They know that they do not want to go front in those areas right now because it is very, very dangerous. And look at that, the quad shadow kill connecting onto that Nolan. Oh my God, the damage onto that Claude as well. A very, very nice, and a very, very nice use of skills coming in from Lom Lom Mai, just proving that he's as good as any other jungler in the world right now.
He is an underdog jungler, a rising jungler coming in. He has been showing those skills up, and he has that potential as well. But on the other hand, Nolan got deleted. He couldn't even get a chance to use the fissures and the fractured toes escape. That is how strong Hayabusa is right now, even though there was a slight nerf to him. But on the other hand, even Moscow is farming up, Moscow, who is a very great split pusher, he has been doing that. Look at that team, John Tonsing, they are definitely pushed towards their inhibitors right now. And with that, a Lord is up. It will be up in the few seconds.
Yeah, it does feel like, they're looking to make that diversion play. And look at that. Oh my God, the Nolan will get deleted again. Lom Lombai just putting on the best show right now. Taking down Capricuti on that Nolan, creating the enemies havoc right now because that's why they're being pushed back into their own base right now. Two inhibitors have been taken down. They want to end this game. They really want to do it right now. They have to do it, or else the Nolan will create problems for them again, and the Moscow is trying to lock down that base together. Hayabusa trying to lock down that base as well, but there's not enough damage. Will they be able to take down that turret? Yes, they will be, and Team LCF will secure the victory over Team John Tossing, and we are moving on to the
Victory!
next game to decide who will be the one going to take that place in the semi-finals against Zohan. My goodness, the gameplay coming in from Lom Lom Mai and Who is Peter carrying the entire team on their back, even though the Minsitar was picked up by the enemy side.
What a gameplay coming in from Team LCF. Looks like, they answered back that aggression that Team John Tonsing showed into the first match, and they took it very seriously. They answered back with Aloi, with a Hayabusa back right into their face. On the other hand, the damage from Hayabusa, seeing that Nolan getting deleted, even though he was near his own fountain, that is too strong coming in from Lom Lom. Why? My with on the other hand, looks like this was the end of match two.
Welcome back again, fellows. We are back in the third game
Still
of the
waters
series
run
between
deep.
Team
Your
Mushmith
team is
Fun
banning.
and Team John Thompson. We have seen the fierce battle going down between these two teams in the last two games. And like the usual, look at that. The Fanny has been banned again. The Ling has been banned as well. These two are perma banned when these two teams face off against each other, because on the
The
other side,
hunt
you have
begins.
Your team is
Capri
banning.
QT, and as well as on the other side you have that Lom Lom Mai. So both
Who
of these
said there are no
players,
shortcuts
the
in
Your
best
life?
team
junglers
I
in
is
the country,
literally
banning.
especially
invented
all those
one.
assassins. That is why these two heroes are always banned when these teams face off. And that Hayabusa though left open in both the games, and the team who picked that up was able to secure the victory. What do you think will be the key to victory this time? Do you think both the teams will be looking to ban out that Hayabusa, or will they be leaving it open?
They really have to ban that Hayabusa. Match one, Capri Cutie was dominating. Match two, Lolo Mai was dominating. Match three, the respect ban should coming. Both the junglers, they are proving that they could play these heroes. And with that, other assassins have been banned as well. So this is looking strong for both the teams, but looks like they are just choking
Gaze
those
the
heroes down.
stars.
A
Your
Fanny is a
team
perm
is
ban
Within.
from
banning.
Team John Tonsing every single time. But on the other hand, a Louis ban also comes in.
I mean, I feel like the diversion just gave them a nightmare in the last game. The Minsithar, I mean, even though they picked up the Minsithar,
I am
Peter
not the
just
only
did
one
so well
bound by
Your
on that
this
team is
Louis to
chain.
banning.
shut him down, because of which Lom Lom Mai was able to give out his best
Your
performance on that
team is
Hayabusa.
picking.
And that is why I guess this time they will be looking to take out the Louis first. And the Hayabusa is still open in this game, as well as the Alice, which has not been picked up by either side. I do feel like the Alice is a very good pick to pick up in this meta right now, but I do not see both the teams prioritizing that Alice. Instead, they are still looking to pick up that Hayabusa, which has carried both the teams to victory in each game. What do you think, this time team LCF will be planning to do? PC, and look at that, the Hayabusa has already been picked up.
A much needed pickup. Looks like Team LCF, they are picking it up again, but I'm really not sure why they Team
Hope
John
will
Tonsing
find a
went
way.
with
Your
a,
team
Even
is
when
a
all is
banning.
Hayabusa
forlorn.
this time. Sorry, not a Hayabusa, a Hylos. Both the heroes starts from it. I really got confused for a moment. And with that, I think so. This is a high loss on EXP lane, judging by the revitalize that they have. But on the other hand, Grok has been picked up as well. Grok on the roam, definitely. Then Hylos is going into that EXP lane. It will be giving them a lot of tankiness. And in the last game, they were lacking that from the side of Team John Tonsing.
Yeah, picking up the Hayabusa early, and still they went for that squishy composition. But this time they will be looking to retaliate with that
Your
high
team is
HP
picking.
tankiness coming in from that Grok, that high loss, as well as the Valentina, right? Because the Valentina does have a lot of HP. And just to point out something here, the side of Team LCF have banned all the same heroes in the last, in the first game as well. So do you think the first game will repeat again? Because look at that, the bans are same, the picks are pretty similar as well. But yeah, of course they have that Hayabusa there, so it will be a very good pick coming in, because they are able to get that Hayabusa for themselves. But still, the enemy has a very tanky composition. So do you think they'll be looking to pick up an X-Borg here, or will they be, just picking it up later? Because I do not think enemy will, leave that X-Borg open in the next ban section, in the next ban time.
Yes, that is true,
I am the
Fredo. They are
priestess of
just
Your
primal
not
light,
team is
leaving
the
up
banning.
those
hunter of
picks
all the
for
evil
themselves.
gods.
Looks like indeed it will be played as well. Since Louis was banned already from the side of Team John Tonsing, Peter has decided to go a Vexana this time. Vexana, yes, that is strong, but it is squishy. Even Valentina, and also Valentina is there to counter, she can actually pick up those Eternal Guard or probably Edith's primal form. That is pretty strong.
Yeah, but right now it does feel like the X-Borg is still open, because the X-Borg will be a very, very good pick against that Grok, against that Hylos as well.
Magic is my
Even
life.
Your
the
team is
Valentina is
banning.
also, a very, no, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. it just occurred in my mind that if they pick up the Xborg, the Valentina is there to pick up that last insanity and target that ultimate onto that Vixana. So yeah, they have to be really careful while picking up that Xborg.
Oh, and pick coming
Your
in.
team
I
is
am
banning.
really not sure, but maybe it could play into that EXP lane. But both sides EXPs are already picked. But it's highly possible that Team LCF can actually pick it up again. For as Edith can actually go into that room. So maybe there we go. But look at the bans coming in from the side of Team John, they are just choking down those heroes that they thought was very annoying into the last match. A
My
Kufra ban, a
kiss
Louis ban, a
grants you
Fanny ban. Fanny is a perma
immortality
ban, I have to say,
or death.
Fredo.
Yeah, and look at that. The last
I
ban
am
coming in from Team
vengeance
LCF will be that
incarnate.
Alice, and it just shows that they realize that if the enemy decides to pick up that Alice on that goal lane, the Hayabusa, I do not think he has enough damage to take out anyone in the enemy side. So that is why the Alice will be banned out. And the last ban coming in from John Tonsing will be that Moskov, especially because they know how much of a good hero he was in that last game. 3 bans coming in targeting the heroes from the last game. So this time LCF have to completely change their strategy and their approach towards this game. They cannot go with the same things which they did in the last game. So let's see what they are thinking to pick up this time.
Oh, I am curious to know what they will be picking up. Maybe coming in with a alpha or probably something else.
like blood.
Your
But
team
this
is
is when it looks like Team LCF, they have went in with a Carmilla. Carmilla was pretty strong. Carmilla secured MVP as well. They are just mix and matching right now. A Carmilla Needle combination we all see again. This is giving me another deja vu from the one, and also that Julian. Definitely a big deja vu.
Yeah, if they decide to pick up the Julian, I mean, it's just like the last game, just that the roles have been exchanged between Lomlommai and QT. But the Carmilla, I mean, see, even if the Carmilla got the MVP, they were the one who lost. So yeah, it might be a curse coming in from that curse of blood. Who knows? But so far, it has been the Alpha which has been picked up by the side of Team QT
Your team
and
is
the
picking.
Beatrix. And the last pick coming in, I really hope it is an Xborg, because other than that, I do not see them, being able to do anything, even if it's a marksman right now.
And a carry pick is much needed right now. That highlight that Grok, they need somebody to shut them down. But look at that unconventional pick. I mean, I won't say it's an unconventional pick, but it is very fresh to see Beatrix
Fast
being
rule
picked out
around here.
in where
Break
the
all the
Claude is very
rules.
popular, that Ruby is popular into that goal lane. It is good to see Beatrix coming up as well. And yes, Team LCF, they are going in with a carry pick this time. This is going to be a point, match point for both of these teams. If one of the teams actually wins this match, maybe Team LCF, maybe Team John Tonsing, they will be proceeding towards the semi-finals, the upper bracket of semi-finals, and they will be battling it out for the victory into that, victory and a spot into the grand finale. With that, we are already into the loading screen, the last game of this qualifiers.
Yeah, it does feel like
Welcome
both the
to
teams
Mobile
have a very,
Legends.
very good lineup in this game. Both the teams have
5
the
seconds till
best
the enemy
compositions which
reaches
I
the
can think about.
battlefield.
But
Smash them.
on the side of Team LCF, picking
All
up that
troops
carry,
deployed.
it might prove to be, it's like a double-edged sword. If it works out, it will do very good for the team. If it does not, it's going to be a burden, because that carry, he needs a lot of items before he is able to, completely melt down enemy tanks that drop that high loss. So yeah, it will be a very interesting thing to find out if they can pull off the game with this carry. But meanwhile, the poke coming in from the Grok and the Kamila, the Grok winning out as usual, because he is the one who has an early game advantage. Oh my god, they're trying to gank in on Who is Peter. Who is Peter is a bit out of position there, but he will be able to, be safe in those positions. He did try to make the rotation as well. He's able to, take down some damage onto that high loss there, but they have to recall. Sunreal has to recall from that position. And still the fight is going on. And the retribution battle has been won by the Alpha, and he'll be going in with that Alpha charge onto the Hayabusa. Oh my goodness, that was so unlucky. They were able to take that creep. He got the level 4 first, and he just went in with that Alpha charge.
Pretty unfortunate for Long Mike. This time looks like Hayabusa will be shut down into the hands of Alpha. Also picking up the first blood as well. This is coming strong. Look at that, the flicker being baited by that Carmilla already.
Yeah, the early game advantage of that Alpha is his true damage coming in from the beta, and that is why he will be trying to do that at the max potential. Meanwhile, again coming in on the bot lane side, the Beatrix will be taken down. Advantage being placed onto that goal lane for that carry here. A very good start as well from the side of team for the team LCF as well on that goal lane area.
Yes, that is true, Fredo. They are just picking up the tempo again. That was a very fast rotation, but looks like they traded up a turtle for themselves. And since Team John Townsend, they have that advantage into the hands to themselves since they took up the first blood, the first turtle as well. Team LCA have to make sure to retaliate as well. The aggression from Hayabusa does not stop. He is going very crazy onto that Matrix as well. May another fast rotation coming up very soon, but Silos, he is looking up to actually gank the Hayabusa.
Yeah, he is trying to disturb that Hayabusa from taking his buff, and he's trying to create that advantage for Alpha to just farm out that Hayabusa. The ultimate has been placed so well. 3 members will get locked down with Alpha start, and look at that. The Edith has been caught down as well. A very, very nice gank coming in the enemy jungle area for Team John Townsend. Oh my god. Look at that tempo on their side.
What just happened, Fredo? A 3-man wild touch connecting. Everyone was caught unexpected from the side of Team LCS, and that glorious pathway was just cherry on top. What gameplay! That was very good to see. On the other hand, looks like Team John Townsend, they have this aggression to their side. They already picked up the early game. This is actually giving me deja vu from the first game.
Yeah, I mean, in the last game as well, they had that, they had the opportunity to take that early game advantage, and in this game too, they are, already having that early game advantage as well. But this time though, the goal lead is not so much as compared to the last game. But the high loss, look at him. He's just trying to, create a problem for the enemy side, trying to take all the, trying to disturb that Hayabusa, the blood of curse. The curse of blood is connected so well, and look at that. Haya's Spooky Shadow has been used. The Hylos has used his glorious pathway. The Vexana's Eternal Guard has been popped up as well. The CC is coming in as well from that Alpha just to escape. And look at that. They will be looking to take down the turtle. The Hayabusa will be able to. No, he does not get his retribution at the right time. The Carmilla is so low. But yeah, they will be able to retreat, and they will be trying to get the advantage on the other end right now.
Fredo, did you just see like few seconds ago how the curse of blood connected onto that Hylos as well as the Valentina and the knock up, the earthquake shatter coming in? This is what I want to see from the side of Team LCF, and that is what they are showing me. I am excited. This match is just going intense. It is very, how do you call it? A neck-to-neck competition, I could say, despite the scoreboard looking very one-sided. But they are giving them the competition that Team John Townsend needs. Look at the walls already coming in from the Grok. Maybe a gang coming in. But no, I think Carmilla will be safe for now. On the other hand, both the teams, the aggression is there. But I think high loss is coming in.
Yeah, the high loss does feel like, he's trying to make those plays happen on that Hayabusa. He's the one who is creating the pressure on that Hayabusa right now. The Edith is able to clear those lanes and able to, just rotate as well, but he's not doing enough for the role of that EXP laner right now. But the Hylos able to do so much.
Hylos is definitely doing a lot. He's providing the glorious pathway, along with that the ring of punishment as well. He has been doing so much. Look at that again. He is already in there. Maybe another gang coming in.
Yeah, the bot lane tower will be taken down by the side of team LCF, and with that, the next turtle is up as well. So yeah, we might be looking to take down the turtle as well, because right now the side of team John Townsend is busy on that red buff of the enemy, and they will be trying to gank that opposite lane instead. And I mean, they really need to take this turtle, otherwise they will be losing out on the lot of gold at this moment, and the gold gap will just increase.
The goal gap is definitely increasing. The kill score is the kill board as well has been increasing by minute. A 5-for-1. This is not looking good for Team LCF right now. On the other hand, there is some skirmish going on. Take it away, Fredo.
Yeah, the Curse of Blood has connected on to a lot of people, but look at that, the Alpha Charge has connected much better, and with that they will be coming out on top. Two members going down in that mid lane area, able to secure the mid lane tower as well. The Carry and Edith somehow able to defend that second tier turret though, and with that they are also trying to take that blue buff in the enemy jungle area. The Hayabusa charges in onto Beatrix. Beatrix being taken down by Hayabusa's Kogi shadow kill, and with that they might be able to take down the mid lane turret. They are trying to force it, but they do not have enough members to do so. They will be recalling back now, and the Hayabusa is there in the top lane. They are trying to do something onto them.
Okay, the disengage is already there. Both the teams, they are doing so well. Looks like few kills have been secured from the side of team LCF as well, and the side of team John Tonsing. Right now team John Tonsing, they are tanky a lot, and all the Hayabusa is just there, so the Hylos is just there soaking up all the damage. This is what team John Tonsing needed, and this is what they have right now. It is going strong. They are trying to pick up a lot of neutral objectives as well. The turtle, the turrets. Look at Hylos right now. No fear, because he knows that no one can actually stop him.
Yeah, I mean, the enemy does not have enough damage. The carry has to step up right now, because he is the one who can, melt those tanky front lines of the enemy side. But the Hylos showing so much aggression. Luis Peter caught out in the wrong position there. He will be going down. And with that, the next Lord is coming up. And it is not a good time for Peter to die right now, because they will not be able to contest the Lord.
Yes. Into their hands. The one member already down from the side of team from the side of team LCF. The law, it would be a very easy lot for them for the side of team John Tonsing. Look at that, they are already going, taking those lord, and that Valentina pick right for that Carmilla. I think this is going strong for team John Tonsing. Don't you think so, Fredo?
Yeah, but the glorious pathway has been used. The Hayabusa does have his shadows now. He will be able to make an easy escape, I guess. But no, look at that. He has used his glorious pathway. He has used his Kogi shadow kill. But look at that. The Curse of Blood has connected well. Oh my god, he did not really need to come back there. He will be going down. And the Beatrix has used his ultimate. The carry is doing so much damage right now. But the Alpha might be able to out-damage him. Yes, he does. The Beatrix is there to back him up, and he will be going down. 2 members and 3 members have went down on each side. So yeah, the Lord is still on their side though, and that means it's still a 3v3.
Oh, definitely a 3v3 going on. This is looking strong, but on the other hand, they are attacking as well to take down the lord. They just have to make sure that the inhibitors don't fall down. Team LCF, since this is a level 1 lord, it won't be doing much, but the problem comes in for the level 2 lord. They have to make sure that the inhibitors stand strong, into the match 1. I have seen Team John Tonsing taking up those inhibitors right before the lord arrived, and just actually enabled them to go right into the crystal and take it down. So this is where the problem comes in. But wait a minute, Fredo, take it away.
Yeah, it does feel like the Alpha charge is connected. The Hayabusa able to take down the D6 there. The Alpha is pretty low. He has to escape right now, and he will be using that. Curse of Blood connecting so well though. 4 members are connected with that. The carry will be able to escape. Only member going down will be Peter. And it was a good team fight coming in from both sides. But they will be losing that mid lane, second tier, Team LCF. Still going strong though. I mean, look at the goal difference, but still they are able to, put up a fight even with all that, disadvantage which they have right now. So it does feel like LCF stands a chance.
Yes, LCF definitely stands a chance. They just successfully defended up a lot with the inhibitors standing strong. This is going strong for them, but they have to answer back since we are already going towards the late game. They have a carry. The carry has to melt down that high loss, and that is what we are seeing. And support from Carmela as well. This is actually going pretty for them. But on the other hand, maybe another coming in. Look at that.
Yeah, the amount of damage being placed onto that Carmela is so much. This time though, look at that carry. He's doing so much damage onto the enemy front lines. And look at that, the Brock is down low as well. The Alpha charge has been used just to escape right now. And the Edith is doing so much damage as well. Because, the side of Team LCF have Edith. They have the carry as well. So yeah, they can do a lot of damage onto those front lines. And both the front lines have been taken down, and right now they're onto the Lord already. And look at that, they are actually making a comeback happen right now at the moment. They have to be really careful though. They do not want to lose out on this Lord, or else the comeback which they are making right now will be all wasted. And look at that, they are trying to take down the Lord. The Retribution has to connect. Let's see who is the one who's going to win that Retribution battle. Is Mai coming out on top. And the Winter Crown has been used as well, but it does not provide anything right now because they will be taken down. The mid lane inhibitor is completely exposed. 3 members are there, but will they be able to take down? Look at that, the Ruby Shadow Kill connecting onto 1, connecting onto 2, 3 members, and look at that, the Hylos has to, force out his Revitalize at the moment because the damage coming in from that carry is just way too much.
Oh my god, what is happening, Team LCF? They have picked up the tempo. They are already going into the mid lane. They are trying to take those turrets down, but a high loss has been melted. One member, Valentina, still has a chance along with the Grok. Grok places up the wall. This allows them to not go in, but a wild chance connecting onto 3 people. The base is exposed. The crystal is going on. Alpha is there. Alpha trying to take down those minions as well. Another member down. It will be the Grok going down, but the base is exposed. They are trying to go in, but along with that 3-4 members down. Beatrix stands strong. But Beatrix, how much longer? I don't think so. She has a chance. Crystal has been taken.
Oh my god, LCF, I just salute you for making that comeback against John Tonsing. You were so behind, but the gameplay coming in that last moment, especially that carry, he was dealing so much damage along with that Curse of Blood, along with that Edith. I mean, once that Curse of Blood connects, you're just dealing way more damage than usual. So yeah, the carry and the Edith's basic attack was just multiplying all that damage which was happening at the moment. And with that, I guess Team LCF will be coming out on top, even though Team John Tonsing did play well, but they were not able to do what they wanted. The Beatrix did not really work out for them in this game.
Yes, I agree with you, Fredo. Looks like it will be Edith picking up the MVP this time for the game, and Team LCF, they are proceeding towards the upper bracket semi-finals, and they will be battling it out against ZOHUNT for that position for the grand finale.
Yeah, and we will be back for more, especially because we will be looking out if LCF can still carry the momentum which they just built up in this game. Because the last game which they just played right now, it just showed that they have a better synergy as compared to the other team, and they are, able to make a comeback even though they are down. So yeah, facing against ZOHUNT will be a very interesting match this time. And with that, we will be back for more. So don't go anywhere because the semi-finals of the upper brackets will be happening soon. It will be ZOHUNT going up against Lakshmi Chit Fund, and the winner will be decided tonight itself for the final showdown. So don't go anywhere, and stay tuned on this channel and make sure you share this stream so that they do not miss out. You don't want your friends to miss out on this Royal Rumble Showdown which is going down tonight.
Good
Always
evening,
on the
ladies
way.
and gentlemen,
Your
and
team is
welcome
banning.
to Royal Rumble Showdown Season 1, powered by Thunder Esports. I am your caster Asuya, and this is the lower bracket semifinals between ZOHUNT and LCF. Joining me today is another brilliant caster, Ray. So, hello, Ray.
Hello, Asiya, and dear viewers who have joined us today on this lower bracket semifinals. Just like you've mentioned, Asiya, and thank you as usual for that great introduction. Anyways, we just witnessed, LCF versus John Punsing, and like those matches, it was thrilling. There were some mistakes made, but in the end, there was a victor. So I am curious to see how LCF
My
will be
mission
facing off
is to
against
protect
ZOHUNT,
Your
who
lives.
has
team is
been,
picking.
rising the ranks
Who
recently
said there
because
are
I've
no
been
shortcuts
noticing
in
they
life?
have
Your
been
I
team is
literally
dominating
invented
banning.
one.
against India's top teams. So I think it is fair to say that they also share a sentiment, an equal level of that skill play. So I want to see how another team like Lakshmi Chit Fund will be faring off against them. And so I'm excited to see that. What about you, Asuya?
Absolutely, Ray. Even I believe that this is going to be quite the show. And going to the bands, we see pretty much the same standard bands right
As
there. But at the
fleeting
same
as a
time, just look,
snowflake's breath,
that chip has
as
been taking
timeless
over
as a
because
glacier's
I
heart.
think even though the nerf he received recently, he is still the goated pick right there because his movement speed is still quite good. He can just move around the entire map like it's his
I
playground.
am
At the same
Your
vengeance
time,
team
the
is
other
picking.
incarnate.
side have picked up an Aurora, but I don't think so. A Moscow is a priority option right here because so many other options are still open. Just look at that. We have Julian, we have Hayabusa, we have Zask, we have Lexana. Although yes, they did pick up that Aurora, but so many other heroes are still open, and yet they go for a Moscow. Ray, what are your thoughts on this?
Yep, just like you said, the chip has been picked, and despite the like the nerf onto his special skill that lets him move around the map, you're absolutely right. He still has his movement
Gaze
speed.
the
Not to
stars,
mention the
and your
immobilize
team
on
is
his ultimate.
picking.
It's still such a pain to face against. So I think he's a really decent pick, especially. Isle of Cakes will definitely be going for that, the chip after they swap out. So and Isle of Cakes has performed really, really well with those chip and teleportation gameplays. But to answer your question, I think there is could be a strategy with Moscow. Prime is a good goal laner as well as a jungler, but I think he will be going for goal lane this game. But anyways, I think the strategy is that if Chip ganks some lane, Moscow will use that spear to teleport to the other lane and start split pushing. At least that is what I think their strategy might be. But at the end, you never know what these teams might be coming up because we've seen so many creative,
Hayabusa
unique
has
team
now
compositions.
Your
evolved.
team is banning.
Well, I agree, and at the same time, we also see a Loi has been picked up. Ray, I thought they would be picking up a Vexana because every tournament I watch, like most of the tournaments, whenever there is an Aurora which has been picked, it
Magic
is
is
always
my
traded by
life.
a
Your
Vexana
team
because
is
both of
banning.
them are the CC queens and they are pretty good mages in this meta.
I
But
will
yet
choose my
they
own
Your team
path.
sacrifice
is
that
banning.
Vexana for a Loi, even though they already have a chip. So, what do you think? Those two ultimates from the two heroes, why would they go for it?
I mean, I think it is one of the compositions that Team LCF really likes to do. I mean, just like you said, Vexana is such like Aurora and Vexana, they're picked, face to face with
May
those
the blood
queens
of my
always
enemies
facing
Your
off
flow
team
against
from my
each
is
other. But
banning.
spear.
who is Peter, despite Vexana being his comfort pick, I think he just really, really loves his Louis, and I think they want to create double the trouble with Louis teleport as well as Chip teleport. And just like I mentioned, Louis Peter's signature pick is Louis. So I'm interested to see how he will be facing off against Team ZOHUNT. Not to mention,
True love
Louis still
is like Your
she,
team is
despite not
picking.
being at the top of the meta, I think she's still such a scary mage when there is a team fight going on. So I think it is indeed a decent pick.
Well, absolutely. I believe the same, Ray, because she has that damage, that continuous stance from her passive yin yang overturn. At the same time, she can just teleport behind a fleeing enemy and she will catch you by surprise. And yes, those moments are utterly scary. She is a pretty good
Sun
mage in my
rises
opinion,
when I give the
especially after
Your
word.
that
team
when
is
she
picking.
gets her wishing lantern, her damage scales up so much. It's quite scary to witness. At the same time, the other side have picked up an Alpha and a Khalid. Well, it's pretty rare to see a Khalid being picked up in tournaments, although I agree that he is a pretty good fighter right there. But just see, Tarizla is still open, and still they go for a Khalid right there. So, do you have any, idea why would they go for a Khalid right here?
I think perhaps to like zone out, as you know, Khalid has that sense, like that sandstorm ultimate where he jumps into the enemies. I mean, I think Alpha does not want to risk that. Alpha also can dive into the back line if he wants
Come
to,
on,
but
Dexter.
I think
It's our
Alpha does not want to risk
showtime.
it, and they wanted to pick a
Your
fighter
team
that
is
will be the one
picking.
going into the back lane. You know, they can pick the Yuzong, they can pick many fighters, but those fighters usually they're visible when you're diving into the backline, right? But Khalid has the advantage with that flicker combo of the ultimate. It is very unanticipating. Like you cannot really expect that it would hit. Sometimes you will think this will miss, but the instant flicker combo can catch you up surprise. Not to mention, just like I said, Hui Speeder on that Louis will be a very huge threat for the side of Zohan. So I think they picked out the EXP so they can zone out Hui Speeder on that Louis much more easier and
You're
create a
off.
comfort zone for
Go
Alpha
back to your
during those
crypt with your
objective fights, those
minions.
turtles, and as well as the lords. And we have finally finalized the draft, and we are seeing the Tigreal being picked from the side of Zohant as well as the Gotokata for the side of Team LCF. And so far, I think both teams have really, really solid draft. Both teams going for the balance of sustain as well as burst. And at this point, at least from my side, I think the side of Team Zohant has a better sustain in my opinion, while Team Lakshmi Chit Fund is going for a full burst composition. So, what do you think about this, Azuya?
Well, I completely agree with you. And one more reason I think that Khalid has been picked up is to counter that Hayabusa, especially in the early game.
Welcome
If
to
Haya
Mobile
comes to
Legends!
gank that Khalid, if he is on low HP, he can just
Mhm,
use his second
5
skill,
seconds
to
till the enemy
sustain, to
reaches
heal
the
up.
mhm.
So I
battlefield.
think a pretty good
Smash them!
counter right there. And just like you
All
mentioned,
troops
both the
deployed!
teams have pretty good traps at this point. And both of them are kind of starting from the goal lane. So I think they will be looking to gank the goal lane right now.
And just like while you were saying, Khalid, with the aggression already as we proceed to head on to the land of dawn, game number one. But I think Hayabusa will be regretting starting the red buff as Khalid, Dusty Mizo, already securing the first blood, denying the jungler of the side of LCF the precious farm. And losing the farm in such an early phase is going to be such a devastating game for the side of Lom Lom Mai, who will be struggling against the Alpha, who just, farmed with her such without any issues. It was smooth sailing for him, and Hayabusa might be struggling unless I think Alpha is playing a little passive. Perhaps he should have done a buff invade because he was a level higher than Hayabusa. Don't you agree, Asuya?
Well, absolutely, and they do have that Tigreal to push the buff. They have that
Mm-hmm.
Alpha who has a pretty better early game than the Hayabusa. So yeah, I completely believe that Alpha should have helped up because I did see that Hayabusa use his retribution on the red buff, and so even though he died, he did manage to gain that level 2. But now he has his just look at that, just 2 more creeps, and he is already level 4. And I think he will be looking to use that ultimate. I think it was a complete waste because at this level,
Mm-hmm.
using the ultimate on almost full HP is not a good idea. And just look at that Aurora. She is such a good mage. She can continuously poke with her first skill because its CD was just reduced. She is such a good mage right there. And I think things are looking a bit better for Zohunt at this point. What do you think, Trey?
Yep, things are looking much better for side of Zohan, but I think Alpha should have been a little bit more on the aggro because I mean, despite that, invade from Khalid, Hayabusa is level 4 anyway, so I think it was a bit of a wasted potential as we see a gank happening, Frigid Glacier coming in, Moskov, Spear of Destruction, and Hayabusa is the one who won that Red Pick battle, who is better with that Yin Yang overturn, the combinations coming in, Cross charging in with the Blazing Duet as well, a beautiful rotation coming in from his side, beautiful Isle of Pigs teleportation as Khalid is the one stuck completely in midst of four people. And this is what I was kind of talking about. Like, despite that early invade from Khalid and it was a success, Alpha didn't play on the aggression. He just played really passive, and Hayabusa still became level 4. And it didn't really matter, and they were able to secure the turtle and negate all of the loss that happened in the early phase. So I think that was a little bit of a bad, I guess, misdecision or maybe miscommunication because I think Khalid didn't really say, tell the side of the Luxi guys that, oh, the retribution has been used, you should have invaded. So I think that was a bit of a loss for their side as we are seeing things outside of Lakshmi sit fund.
Well, absolutely, and at the same time, just look at the EXP lane. I think that Katot Kata will be looking to retreat since he was poked a lot. At the same time, I think that Moscow should be getting ganked there because his scaling in the late game would be an absolute disaster for LCS. And that Moscow did see that ultimate incoming, but he will be taken up by that shadow of obscurity and the ultimate. And yes, he has been taken down. The team was too late. The Alpha, Aurora, and Tigreal are a bit late. Oh my god, that's the beauty of Loi. Her ultimate can take you off guard, especially when it comes to, zoning out the marksman. And just as I was saying that they should be ganking that marksman, they did at the same point. And look at that implosion with the flicker and the fast freeze. I think they will be taken down and oh god, a double kill for them at the same time. It's double. And Kadot Kacha with his ultimate bounces on 4 people. And I think they will be taken down. Oh my god, Ray.
What is really happening? I was confused. A trade-off after trade-off. Both teams trading so much low. Oh, Flicker coming in from that Aurora, securing that kill and shutdown. I think she will be taken down at this point, but I think that was worth it. A shutdown onto the jungler and another kill. Oh my god, Honey Fam is on fire. I think that was really, really worth it. Even if she died, she took down 2 people with her. That is just an amazing threat. But just like while you were describing the team fight, I just saw Chip before he died. He used his teleportation, inviting Katosaka as well as Quad to use their ultimate, the Blazing Duet, and they were able to do a fair trade. But Honey Fam completely doing an Uno reverse onto them.
Well, absolutely. Having a tip is a good thing, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because not only your team can join you, the enemy also sees the opportunity. Just like you said, that Katut Kacha incoming with his ultimate, overturning the entire team fight 360-degree, and I think they will be looking for another play just there. But Lloyd just flickers away. Then Khalid is there to stun her and take that kill, but no, she will just be going back. But the spear of destruction hitting back. I think that Moscow has taken that Lloyd down, but at the same time, just look at that. Lord will be taking down that Moscow, and at the same time, Khalid has also jumped in. Another kill for that Khalid. Oh my god, and those Alpha and Tigreal are the only ones surviving right now. They are looking to retreat. What beautiful and, continuous ganks coming from both the teams.
Yep, LCF is really, showing a statement. They are showing that they are no less than Team ZOHUNT because I really thought after that Aurora's engaged onto Hayabusa, shutting them down, I think they would be a little bit behind, but they are not. They are facing them fiercely without any fear and engaging non-stop, showing them, all their strength as well as using their resources very well as they were able to take down 3 of the people from the side of Team ZOHUNT right now. And I think Godot Pata is just trying to poke a little bit. And I think Tigreal also missed out his implosion on that mid lane as well. And if, a few more mistakes and a few more miscommunicated game plays keep happening from the side of Team ZOHUNT, I think LCF will be, easily securing the objective as well as the turret or maybe even the nexus unless Team ZOHUNT scales up really well in the late game. And they do have the Moscow being taken down as well. And I think Team LCF is just not, showing any mercy to the side of Team ZOHUNT.
Well, Ray, that Louis is absolutely insane with her teleport. The entire team also follows up when she uses her ultimate, and she's right on the point. She is trying to gank that Moscow because they all know he will be a problem in the late game. At the same time, Ray, there's one more thing. I don't know if this will be true or not. Like LCF is pretty OP in the early game. They play it so well, but I do see after the first Lord has been taken, something happens and they end up throwing the game. So I don't know we will see the same pattern in this game or not, but I am hoping it to be an early, end for the from the side of LCF.
Yep, and I think it is one of the reasons is because if you look at her composition, it's mostly early game. I mean, Hayabusa, he specializes in taking down people one by one. Oh, Chip using that ultimate onto Alpha, and he will be taken down. Tigreal was, a little bit late to the stage, not able to save the jungler. But anyways, to respond to your question, their composition is mostly early game. Hayabusa prioritizing, takes down solo kills. Louis damage scales off really well, but she's a mate. Her scaling is definitely on the early side. Not to mention, the Claude also is more of a mid-game marksman compared to Moskov, who will land those crits once, even with the golden stuff, his passive allows him to crit very often. So he is a late game, as well as the
Killing
Khalid, who will get a
spree.
lot of defense as the game goes on. So I think, just like you said, they have to be careful and they have to finish early, because if they give the edge to Team ZOHUNT, they will have a really hard time ending the game. And just like you said, there might also be an issue that they might get a little bit overconfident. I think the reason is mainly because they have all of, look at them, the Dotata, Claude, the Hayabusa, all of them are diving heroes. So if they go into the turret pretty early on, they might, make a mistake, and Team ZOHUNT will be able to prioritize on it. At least that's how I view it.
Well, and I do see a team fight going right there. And oh my God, Moscow is taking down just even before he could do anything. At the same time, the ultimate coming from the tip, inviting everyone right there. But I think Zuhant is looking to back off right now because their marksman has already been taken down. And as the third first Lord spawns, I think a team fight would be coming up, right?
Yep, and I think Alpha is trying to look for an opportunity because the Khalid as well as the Tigreal is on that scene, but I think it will be denied because the Katotata is on the scene. Blazing Duet coming in as well as the Tigreal's implosion. Alpha Third coming in, Louis using the Yin Yang overturn, and I think the Sunreal has been
Double
taken down
kill.
as well as the the tanker of the side of Team ZOHUNT. Oh, it's the Tigreal. Oh, Khalid trying to sustain their battle as much as he possibly can, but he will be taken down, as well as the Alpha. The damage from the Tatotata's passive is just so high. Not to mention, Haya's damage, like, I think it's still leveled up because he's like level 13 and Team ZOHUNT is still struggling at level 10. And this is what I was talking about. I think Haya should have been denied the early farm a lot more from the side of Team ZOHUNT after Khalid invaded the buff, but they didn't do that. And Lomlom Mai is just on fire, absolutely 10 kills under his name, and he will be probably securing the Lord without an issue, but he is a little bit low HP and waiting for his team.
And I do see that Tigreal trying to zone out the jungler, but he is all alone and he doesn't have the team to follow him up, and as a result, Hayabusa just takes that lot down pretty easily. Not much of a team fight right there. And one more thing which I want to say is that Moscow or even any other member of Team Gohan shouldn't try to appear on the map solo, because as soon as they see someone, the Loi just teleports right there, and it is becoming a disaster for Zohan, because we did see that Moscow being taken away solo, singled out so many times, and that's why his damage is pretty low because he has been denied of that farm. And just like you said, Ray, that Hayabusa, he should have been denied the early farm, even, and Alpha should have followed up because Zohan did, made kill that Hayabusa so early into the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep, totally agree with you. And that, they're not denying that follow up is really giving them the consequences of their actions because they are not able to take down Lomlam Mai on the Hayabusa anymore. He is absolutely the one dominating as they're left with only the inhibitors standing. They will be forced to defend them at any cost because once their inhibitors fall off, their base will be naked and it will be easily taken down by any upcoming lords because the next Luminous Lord will definitely. Oh, cross charging in with that blazing duet. I think it was a little bit early on, and he will be taken down. And I think this is what you were. I think you were talking about Asuya, like Team LCF getting overconfident, and two of their members already down, and the inhibitors are still standing. Oh, but Lomlomai is the one still alive. So I think that trade, despite being a little bit overconfident, they were able to secure one inhibitor. I think it was, I guess, a worth it trade because they did get an inhibitor and Alpha is not the one standing, so they do not really have to be worried because it is only the marksman and mage who are very vulnerable to Hayabusa.
Well, absolutely. It's been around 13 minutes into the game, and look at LCF. Their scoreboard 22 to 11 at the same time. They have that goal lead of around 5 to 6k. So I think it is pretty worth it, even though two of the people just died there. But it was 2 for 3 trade at the same time, along with two inhibitors. So yeah, much worth it. And I think now they should be careful because we are heading on to the mid game, and that Alpha and especially that Aurora by getting her equipments and also that Moscow would be scaling. So yeah, I think LCF needs to prioritize that marksman and that Aurora, and only then should they be going for any over engage, and because they might end up throwing the game.
Yep, and Moskov is scaling off really well. Both marksmen trying the Wind of Nature at the same time. So it is all about who will waste the others' Wind of Nature first. I think Moskov will be the first being for. Oh, I think a country play is coming right up onto that lane. Oh, Moskov is trying to use that vision so he can see what is happening at the Lord. Alpha forced to defend his base because the inhibitor threat is down. Team Zohan looking for an opportunity onto that Lord. And I think since Alpha is not at the scene, they might not compete for it. But Alpha is trying to look for a gank happening. Frigid Glacier used as well as Gatotata is onto the scene as well. Oh, an ultimate coming in. Gatotata being stunned against the wall, but he was able to survive at 1 HP and use up his passive, taking down that Moskov as well as the Khalid is down as well. Oh my god, an extremely bad trade for the side of Team Zohan as three of their teammates are completely down. The Alpha and Aurora are completely at the vulnerable side against the onslaught. Oh, the teleportation from the Louis coming in as well. So many things happening. Alpha forced to use their Winter Crown, but I think he will get taken by the Hayabusa, who is completely fed and dominating. Another inhibitor falling. Will Zohan be able to defend it? Aurora against the world. Sigurd hits onto the scene, but I don't think it's possible. Look at the damage coming from Hayabusa. He was able to completely drain out. I mean, look, I just can't say Hayabusa is. Oh, shut down. Oh my god, is this a blunder? Oh no, I think they will be able to end it. For a second, I was really shocked.
Well, and
Victory!
LCF has claimed the victory, and yes, it was utter domination from that part. The synergy was pretty well, and especially talking about that Louis and Chip ultimate combos, they were rotating like crazy. I really loved how that Louis was targeting that Moscow, the entire team also following up. They had such great understanding. The tacit understanding was there, but at the same time, I think Zohunt needed to stop soloing because they were getting predated upon by the entire team if they made that mistake. And I think, since they were losing those team fights, they should have looked for kind of a side lane pushing, split pushing, but yes, they didn't go for it. At the same time, I did see Aurora missing her ultimate quite a bit. Also, the Moskov, so I think they need a better synergy or maybe better picks in the next game. So, Ray, what is your analysis?
Yep, I completely agree what you said, and I won't be repeating. So I'll just give my thoughts on this. And I think they should just be because Lomla Mai is an assassin user, and they did not respect it. And despite that early invade, Alpha was not able to follow it up, just like I said. And I think they should be respecting Lomla Mai's assassin or completely deny his farm since level 1. And I think that is the only possible way they could be countering his snowball because as you can see, the damage coming from Hayabusa was way too much, and just like you said, Moskov was being picked off fight so much, and I don't really understand why Moscow was picked so early on. I was thinking he would be doing split pushing, but he was not going for that either. And ZOHUNT will be losing the first game to Team LCF as the scoreboard is 1-0. But there will be more games to be coming because this is a best of 5 series, and let's see who will take game number 2. Will LCF continue their domination, or ZOHUNT will make a comeback? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we will be proceeding to game number 2 between
Who said there
Team
are no
LCF
shortcuts in life?
versus
I
Team
literally
ZOHUNT,
invented
as
one.
LCF was able to secure game number 1 onto their arsenal. And let's see if they will continue their onslaught and dominate
Always on
ZOHUNT,
the way.
or is
Your
ZOHUNT
team
trying to
is banning.
strategize a comeback, trying to not get clean sweep. And let's see what will happen as we will proceeding to this game. I am back again as your caster. I am Ray, and joining me again, another brilliant voice is Asuya. Hey there, Asuya. We just witnessed a game just now, and what were your, what were your thoughts on it, and what do you think, like, should be the plan for Team Zohan this time?
Well, you know, I was watching that match and I think Zohan should be looking to shut down the jungler from the side of LCF
Mhm.
because Lomofly is pretty OP.
Your
I have
team
seen
is
him
banning.
in so many tournaments and I really love his jungler. At the same time, that strategy for double teleportation worked out so well. Once they were in the top lane, the very next moment they are there ganking the bot lane. So I think things like this, they should be planning countermeasures for it because at the same time, they could have picked up a Kufra to take, to lock down that Hayabusa, but they didn't. And I think they should be picking up heroes with a bit more CC maybe. But at the same
Mhm.
time, just look at that, Ray. They have banned the chip. They have banned Hayabusa. Maybe it's because respect bans coming from the last game.
Yep, definitely. And this is what I was actually, talking to you about,
Still
because
waters run
I think
deep.
Team
Your
Zohan
team is
should,
banning.
they should have done a little bit of research. After all, this is the semifinals, and they should have denied the assassins onto Lom Lom Mai. But giving out that free Hayabusa, despite the nerves onto his physical attack scaling and the ultimate, as well as the fast ultimate animation, which can be countered by a Wind of Nature or a Winter Crown, I think he's still one of those assassins that you need to watch out for, especially in the hands of someone like Lom Lom Mai, who is so, you know, good while using the assassins, and he has shown so many teams respect his assassins and ban them out, and he is forced to use, the Bane or sometimes a Julian. So I thought that would be happening same here as well, but Zohan didn't respect it, and they kind of faced the consequences of their actions in the game number
Sir,
one. But
what's your
this time,
command?
at
Your
least
team
they
is
are paying
banning.
respect to Lom Mai's assassins, as they will be banning out the Hayabusa as well as the Fanny. Not to mention, despite being the first pick, they will be banning out the chip because I think they do not see the use of it in their team composition, and they do not want LCF to do the same teleportation shenanigans again. What do you think the side of Team Zohan will be picking this time as a goal laner? Because I think Mostov was just not a success in the last game.
Well, I did say, that picking that Moscow for the
hunt
first pick
begins.
wasn't
Your
a
team is
great move right
picking.
there because there were many other heroes which could have been picked up. They could have picked up a Minsitar because I think he was banned in the second phase. But
Mhm.
never mind that. I see Fanny has also been banned. I have seen Lom Lom Mai playing Fanny and it's absolutely amazing. I have seen him on the Nolan.
Your
So yes,
team
I
is
think that
picking.
Fanny and that Hayabusa is a respect ban. So maybe we could see a Nolan being picked up because he has become pretty OP after the recent buff. And he is pretty good at early game snowballing. At the same time, Ray, we do see a Hylos has been picked up as the first pick right there. So what can you say about this pick?
Usually I do not really prioritize Hayabusa over every other hero that is open right now. I mean, y- can you guess it? It is the Phobias. It is still open for the side of Team LCF to pick. I know Phobias does struggle a little bit in the laning phase, but oh, there we go. It is the Nolan on Lom Lom Mai, and we just knew it was coming. We just knew it was coming, and there we go, the Phobias. This is what I
Your
was talking
team is
about. I'm not
picking.
sure why Zohant was planning to pick the Hylos over a Phobias or even a Nolan because they do have an assassin user, I think. And so, just like you said, Nolan's recent buff has immediately made him climb into the top junglers because of his early snowball capabilities. Not to mention the fracture
I am the
mobility is just
priestess of
way
primal
too
lightning,
much.
the hunter
But
of all
they
the
didn't
evil
really prioritize
gods.
on it, and they gave out another assassin to Lom Lom Mai. So let's see if they will be facing consequences for their actions, or will they show us, prove us wrong with this draft that they will be proceeding to do? Because I'm really curious. How will they counter this phobias? Will it be the Minsitar on the goal lane picked right now? Because I think it will be banned
Do you
if
want
not
to
picked.
make friends with
What?
Nana?
Your team is
Nana
picking.
pick? What do you think of that, Asuya?
Ray, I really thought because
Hawk Aerial
they did
Assault
have
Unit
picked up
awaiting
an edit
orders.
right
Your
now,
team
and
is
two, she
banning.
is a very scary like hero right there, especially in the late game where she becomes absolutely insane. But at the same time, she has two weaknesses: the absolute CC like an Aurora, or they need a Lolita. So I really thought that LCF will be picking up a Lolita because she hasn't been banned yet, or they might even go for Aurora or Vexana because they haven't been banned either. But at the same time, judging by that Hylos and edit pick, yes, it's pretty good.
Your
That
team
carry
is
pick is also
banning.
pretty good. But what surprised me is that Nana right there because what to say? It's like Vexana is open, Luoi is also open. They could deny
Hope will
Peter off her
find a way.
Luoi,
Your team
but
is
Even when
they
all
banning.
is
didn't do
forlorn.
that. At the same time, even
Come on,
Aurora is
Dexter.
open,
It's
but
our
still
Your
they
showtime.
go
team
for
is
a
banning.
Nana is pretty weird. I do not understand what they're looking for.
Mhm. Yep. I think like I have seen Nana being picked like in very very early phases, like August phases of the tournament. But after, like, I think this is the first time I'm seeing a Nana pick coming in between like teams like LCF Zohan, like which are considered like one of India's top teams, and Nana is like it is the last hero that you could think of when you're playing a tournament. Let me just reiterate all of the majors that were available: the Vexana, the Aurora, the Luoi, even the Cord, or even Jushin is also
True
open.
love
I'm not sure
is
why
like
Your
they
blood.
went
team
for
is
the Nana.
picking.
Maybe they have a strategy. Maybe they want to turn Nolan into a cute bunny. Maybe it's the strategies to make him less threatening. I'm not sure.
Well, and looking at the phase 2 bans, just look at that. They have banned out that Vexana because they don't want LCF to have any more CC on their part. And Vexana is an absolutely scary mage with her fast clearing, her chained CC, and yes, not to mention that Eternal Guard which follows you around like, a ghost haunting you. At the same time, we also see a Carmela has been banned. Yes, a pretty good tank if her ultimate connects to a lot of people. It can be a complete wipeout, but at the same time, I do
It's
see a
time to go to the
Moskov as well
MATCHDAY
as Floor has
show.
been
Your
banned. Well,
team is
Floor is
picking.
a pretty good pick here because he has those teleports that, mobility from a second skill incoming. But I think Moscow ban wasn't much necessary here. Do you think so too, Ray?
Yep, I think that Moscow ban was really weird because I do understand Carrie can suffer in the laning phase, but you can just give her the
Magic
backup
is
that she
my
really needs.
life.
I mean, the Harish is open. Why are you giving out such, really OP hero in this meta right now? His Zaman Force and Chrono Dashes are just way too much to deal for any marksman because they're so squishy compared to Harish, who has so much shield in his arsenal. So I think that is a very odd band choice. And at the same time, like I think Team LCF is also perhaps
Even the
a
strongest of
little
turns
Your
fail to
team
play
confident
is
or maybe
me.
picking.
overconfident seeing that Nana perhaps they deem that, oh, they are not that much of a threat. But at the same time, I wouldn't really underestimate because they finally got two really good picks in my opinion. It is the
I will
Edith
protect
and
you.
Harit, but I think I will take back what I just said because the Lolita is being picked. I love Cakes picking it, and just like you said, it is an absolute counter for Edith on that EXP lane. And I'm really not sure what is the game plan for the side of Team ZOHUNT at this point because the side of LCF, their draft is looking like they can counter all of their heroes. So at the end, I think it's all about execution. But at least so far, LCF has like at least 50 to 60% a better draft, in my humble opinion.
Well, Ray, one more thing which you didn't mention is just look at Zohan. They have four magic. Wait a
Yes.
second. I don't know what that Bane is on. Maybe he is with the
Welcome to
fighter emblem.
Mobile
Or will he be
Legends.
going for the physical build? But if he goes for a magic build, they will have five
5
people with
seconds till
magic
the enemy
damage.
reaches the
And
battlefield.
this draft
Smash
doesn't
them.
make sense to me at all because the
Ultra
counters, they
deployed.
didn't ban those counters. They, like, LCF has picked up everything that could counter Zohunt at this point, and they have so much magic damage. And not to mention, they also have a Nana. I really don't understand how this is going to work out. Maybe we just need to wait and see. But at the same time, we see both the junglers starting their buffs from the gold lane, sorry, the EXP lane. So maybe they'll be looking to, you know, gank those marksmen right there and that Harith.
Yep, and proceeding to what you said, we are heading into the land of dawn as both junglers have proceeded to take their buffs. No invasion gameplay coming in from the side of Team L, any of the teams as they will be playing it safe. And I think Nolan is trying to prioritize going for the Little Wanderer, but let's see who gets it. Oh, it was actually the Bane. Anyways, to proceed on to what you said, I think getting a lot of magic, it can be devastating in the later phases, but just like we've noticed, team uh, LCF really dominated in the early phase, and in the early phase, magic has that advantage. So I think having multiple magic doesn't hurt until the later phases, which will be devastating. So I am trying to see what their gameplay may be, and I try to ignore that. But even if I ignore that, I cannot ignore that Lolita on Isle of Cakes. She can literally counter the Aegis, the hardest, even the Bane's ultimate coming in. And I think that is you know, just a poor decision on their part, but they will be securing that first blood as Phoveus was caught in by three people. One of the weaknesses of Phoveus is that if he uses the vengeance spell for this damage reduction, he cannot escape, and he got punished for it. But it is still early game, and judging by the draft, LCF has much better chance. But let's see, will Zohan, show us a complete comeback despite having like disadvantageous draft on their arsenal.
Well, at the same time, the turtle has spawned, so we might be looking for engage onto that turtle because both the teams are just roaming around and Phobius charges into that knockup and tries to CC him and he has been taken down so early with that damage from that Hylos also incoming. I think Hylos will be looking to use his glorious pathway since he has just become level 4 and yes, he just does that. Lolita moving around, looking for a chance to stun with her ultimate. But no, since the jungler is not around, I think they will be looking for something else to just retreat at the same time. Just look at the Nolan. He is trying to invade the enemy jungle, trying to deny that farm to that Bane, but Bane doesn't care because he has just taken that turtle right now, and I think he will be maybe once more trying to shut down that Phobius. Maybe because they know Phobius can be an absolute disaster, especially in the late game. So maybe their rotation is more towards the top.
I absolutely agree. Like ganking that Phobius is a good decision in their regard, and they have been able to take Error out like 3 times at this point. And I think Error needs to play it passive because he should realize that he is the priority target from the side of Team ZOHUNT. And just like I was mentioning, Magic wins in the early phases because most of the heroes really have like absolutely close to no magic defense except for the tank. So Magic has that early advantages. I mean, that is why mages are early. So I think that is what Team ZOHUNT is trying to make a play for it. And it is working out so far as they have taken down the Phobius 3 times. But they have to be careful as the later phases come on. Lolita will have that Radiant, will have that Athena, and I think they will face quite a bit of difficulty, bursting down the tankiness that the side of Team LCF will soon be coming. But I think at this point they're just trying to play it aggro. But let's see what will happen as the next turtle will be coming in around 30 to 40 seconds, I think. Nolan has been denied the early snowball, so let's see what happens.
And at the same time, as you were speaking, I did see that Phobius being taken down by that edit again. And look at that Nolan charging in, but he has to just back off because Nana just escapes in a bit of HP. Although she did have her passive, but even that didn't get wasted. And the turtle is about to come up, so we might be looking for another engage. But look at that, Hylos is maybe overextending because he is looking to block those people right there as Bane starts the turtle. And Nolan, I think they should try to back off because the entire LCF is right there and they the pretty low HP. And look at that Harrod, he has popped up that Jam and was trying to take down that Nolan, but Nolan just backed off at the same time. Lolita has also been taken down. Lilia dishing up so much damage, but Eric just used out her ultimate, and I think Phobius will also be taken down. Oh my god, I think the entire team fight, but look at that Nolan, he just comes from behind and takes that person also down. I think this will be a free turtle for that Nolan now, Ray.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, that turtle secure was really beautiful from the side of Team LCF because I think the reason I want to compliment is Nolan engaged onto that Harit early phase, so he could waste that Zaman force. And knowing that Harit does not have the Zaman force, at the end of the team fight, he was able to kill the gold laner, which is such a big thing for the side of Team LCF, who are kind of behind because their EXP laner is not able to perform that much. He has been taken down multiple times. Oh, Lilia playing the aggression. She used her ultimate, the black shoes, and she will just retreat as she was able to use up the glorious pathway, the fashion ramp like you like to call it. And I think that is a valuable resource wasted, and Team LCF could be looking for a pickoff unless they just play it safe.
And just look at that, Ray. I think the EXP lane and that Harris will be changing their lanes because I do see that Edit moving down and Harris is still there up. Or maybe they are looking for another engage onto the mid lane. But look at the bot lane. Phobius has already cleared up one turret, so I think someone just should go down and try to defend the next turret right there.
Like, to proceeding to what you said, the side of Team ZOHUNT, despite dominating, we see an engage coming in, carry dealing so much damage onto that Hylos right now. Like in the draft phase, focusing onto that Lolita, Edith, and Harit, I almost forgot that Sunreal is on his signature pick. It is the carry, and Hylos just stood not a single chance against the true damage that was coming in from him. Anyways, proceeding to what you said, Like, I think Team Zohan, despite doing their early engages really well and securing 6 kills under their name, they are already starting to fall off because they have lost their objective. They have lost the outer turret on that goal lane, and the side of LCF, they're already pressuring into that mid lane. Look at that, the skills being reflected by Lolita's shield already, and I think that Nana pick will not be paying off until the later phases. Well, her burst will be too much for the side of Team LCF, but I think that will be quite generous to say, oh, we see an engage coming in.
And I think that it is in the back position, but she just flickers off, but Carrie takes her down at the same time. I think the entire team will be following up, but just look at that lane. He knows that Eris is not pushing the tower, so maybe he might be looking for that split push as he comes back at the same time. Salmon's force hasn't popped in, but just look at that Lola that just deflecting his attacks back, so I think the mid lane will also be taken down, and that Phoebus is also charging in. So much damage from that Lilia. And just as you said, Ray, ZOHUNT was doing pretty good in the early game. Their rotation was pretty well, and they knew that Mobius will be, a hard counter in the late game. So they did manage to shut him down so many times. But just look, just like the other games, now ZOHUNT doesn't have their eyes on the objectives. They have been losing, except the first turtle. Most of the turtles are just gone from their hands. Their turrets have been taken down from the mid lane and the bot lane too. Meanwhile, I think LCF is doing better when it comes to the objectives.
Yeah, and I think they're prioritizing the Phobius a little bit too much. I mean, they are punishing the poor boy Error non-stop, but look at that. Carry is actually the one dominating. I think they are prioritizing Phobius very unnecessarily at this point of the game, where Sunreal, look at his build is almost filled because he already has his corrosion sight as well as the staff. I think that is sufficient enough damage already, but getting the Demon Hunter sword will be overkill, and I don't think, it was, sorry, I think it was a turret. I thought it was another hero, but anyways, Carry, Sunreal has so much damage at this point and they have not been prioritizing him at all, and I think Carry's true damage will be an absolute nightmare for them to face off against.
And that human blast coming in, so much CC, but it will be retreating, and that revitalize coming up from that high loss at the same time. Look at those blooms utterly draining down the HP, more than half of the HP bar of the enemy, and Nana isn't, being useful here, just like we've said before. She needs to take down that Nolan or maybe that Lilia once and for all, because that's the only point of having a Nana, right?
Yep, absolutely. And I find the side of, Team ZOHUNT with a little bit of weird itemization as well. Like, Hylos is going for the Thunderbolt despite him not being able to stack up that much, and the Thunderbolt has been nerfed. Oh, Lilia baiting out the ultimate as well as the stun coming in from Hylos, as I think Team LCF is looking for an engage. They are trying to zone out. Their macro and micro management is quite well because they did take down that mid turret and giving out more vision, and they are able to engage on, and I think their damage will be way too much for the side of Team ZOHUNT to be able to sustain. Both teams are exchanging blows after blows, but at the end it will be the side of Team LCF who will come out victorious, as Carrie secures a triple kill onto her arsenal. She has been unnoticed. She has been given free farm, as Phobius was the only one being locked in, not Sunreal, and she is punishing the side of Team ZOHUNT completely.
Well, absolutely, Ray. That Phoebus is such a beautiful pick because he can be in the vanguard, disrupting the enemy gang, the enemy organization, and that's what he is doing. Just look at that Carry. I don't think so. She has died a lot, and she has farmed up because they weren't looking to gank up that Carry, in spite the knowledge that they have so much magic damage. And in the late game, Carry can be an absolute disaster for them. And at the same time, I did see that Nana not using her second skill, her CC properly. She should be locking down that Carry, but she is, missing her aim. She is missing her ultimate. So I think that can be a thing which can be improved. And that Bane also needs to take down that Lilia, because you did see how that Lilia is constantly zoning out that edit. She is forcing the team to retreat back. That's how much damage her blooms are doing at this point of the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is what I was talking about. Like, I think their pick priority and everything is quite odd. I mean, going for the Hylos over the Phobius, picking the edits and not banning out Lolita. They are trying to do some engages, but they cannot do. They are losing. I mean, this is why meta really matters. I mean, look at that. But the Bane ultimate just gets reflected, as well as the Harriet's enhanced basic attack. Even the Edith, as well as the Nana's first skill, they have no option to retaliate. The Lolita is single-handedly wasting most of their skills. Not to mention, Saniel is completely farmed up, and look at the damage coming in from Nolan as well, immediately melting down that the Nana. And despite their greatest efforts, I think the base might get taken down, but I think Terry was a little bit overconfident. But oh no, the base was immediately taken down. What the damage coming in from Nolan! I did not think that base would be taken, but his damage was so high, and he was able to secure another victory for his team, as team LCF is leading on with the score of 2-0. Look at Harid, he was absolutely not able to do anything. He got countered hard by I Love Cake's Lolita.
Well, right, just like I said before, they should have picked or banned that Lolita because, I said it from the point one as the graph started that they might be looking up to take that or ban that Lolita, but they didn't. At the same time, I also said that Nolan and you said that Phobius will be getting picked up, and they did not deny all that. They did ban those assassins for Lum Lum Mai, and I believe that was the right choice because he is an absolutely great jungler. But at the same time, they should have paid attention to that team composition because look at that. Four of the people right there getting countered by a Lolita. I think that should have been in their mind.
Yep, absolutely. I think, like, at this point, it is just a major draft gap, and Zohan really needs to re-strategize how they're planning to go against Lakshmi Chit Fund. Lakshmi Chit Fund is, I think, well versed with the meta at this point. I'm not sure what Zohan is planning to do because, I mean, just like I said, the Phobias was open, one of the strongest EXP laners in the game right now, and they prioritize a Hylos who was recently nerfed, and they even went for a Nana. They went for Edith but didn't ban out a Lolita. They went for they didn't prioritize the Nolan either. So I just do not really understand what is their priority as we will be proceeding on to game number 3, and we will be seeing if Zohan, you know, uh, makes their drafts better, or they will just fall off because their drafts are really, looking a bit confusing to me right now. But anyways, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with game number 3 as LCF is dominating with 2-0 score into this best of 5 series.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here with Game 3 between LCF and ZOHUNT. LCF did clean swipe the first two matches, so this game might be the point gain for
I've been
LCF.
waiting for
So,
too long.
Ray, do you think will we see LCF taking away the third game as well, or can we see ZOHUNT getting that epic comeback in this game?
And thank you for, that introduction again, Asya. Anyways, welcome back, dear viewers. And this is just like Asya mentioned, this will be the game number 3. And to answer your question, I really, really hope Team Zohan locks in and they do not go for unmeta drafts because I think it was very sus why they picked out the Nana. I think she is one of the last people that people would, uh, the Team LCF were actually looking for or even picking. I think that was such a waste. Not to mention, they kept the Lolita open despite having multiple projectiles in their team. Not to mention the balance of physical to magic, just like you mentioned, was absolutely bad and they paid off in the late game. But anyways, let's proceed and let's give them a chance and let's see what ZOHUNT will be able to cook up on the draft. Will we see some improvements? Because this time Lomlomai is on that Fanny, one of his signature picks, and let's see if he will be able to do something about it.
Well, Ray, if you ask me, I have seen Lom Lom Wai on a Fanny before, and he's absolutely a disaster. From the first kill to the last, late game, he's just like he's insane with his cabling, the way he moves around the late map, the way he takes all those kills. It's like he is dancing around. And yes, at the same time, I believe that Zohan should have picked a Kufra or maybe a Minsitar for the counter pick. So, do you think will they be taking that up?
I am not sure what is their hero pool because just like I said, Kufra is good, but maybe they are not that used to their strategies have not gotten used to the Kufra because some teams take time to adapt to other tanks. Some people find more comfort in another roamer. Like some people, really can utilize the Matilda roam. Some people can utilize the Carmilla. And so we'll see what roamer they will be going for. As I think last game they picked up the Hylos and the build was a little bit off because they went for an offensive build. And as a roamer, you shouldn't be going for the offensive. You should have gone for defensive, and he was absolutely melted by the Lilia, by the carry. But this time, the draft has been reversed a little bit. Team Zohan is prioritizing the picks that Team LCF picked in the last game. They are going for that Lilia, they are going for that carry. But I don't think it really matters because Team LCF really has such a large, hero pool. Huey Spitter has the Comfort Vexana. He has the Luoi. He even has the Aurora open to him. So, there are 3 brilliant mages open for him to pick up. Not to mention, carry is indeed good, but if Team LCF, especially the Lom Mai, prioritizes taking down Fanny, carry does not have a single stun to stop the Fanny, I think Carry will be easily marked up. Oh, who is Peter making a debut into this game series with the Eve this time? I am interested to see how he will be playing off against, and I think we will see another Lolita, which is a bad news for the side of Team Zohan because if you didn't know, Carry as well as Lilia's skills can immediately be deflected and completely made utter useless.
Well, absolutely. I just wanted to say that Lolita is still open, so the other side should be looking to ban that Lolita and picking up a Kufra or a Minsitar. And yes, while they did pick up that Kufra, they did not ban that Lolita. I mean, they can be facing the same disaster as the last game where 4 of their heroes were hard countered by the second skill of Lolita. I don't know why they didn't ban her this time, but we can, just hope so that Kufra locks onto that Fanny because she will be going for that Lilia. She will be going for that carry as well. I think that carry will be having a pretty hard time farming because Lom Lom Mai on the Fanny is pretty good. And that's something I'm mentioning once again. So Ray, looking at both the drafts, who do you think has the upper hand right now?
I mean, it feels really disheartening to say, but Lolita can counter 4 of their heroes. Edith, Lilia, Carrie, Bane, all of their skills, ultimates will just get deflected easily by Lolita's shield. So just by the strategy alone, Lolita hard counters 4 of their heroes. So it is like easy win in the dark section for the side of Team LCF. And we will be proceeding on to the land of Dawn. Fanny going for the red buff, so I think she's going for the strategy so her blue buff doesn't go away when the turtle comes in. But anyways, I think Team ZOHUNT really needs to watch when they use their skills, because this Lolita by Isle of Kicks is going to be such a massive threat. Don't you agree, Asoya?
Well, absolutely, and I am looking forward to pretty good Kufra plays too, because all the Kufras I have seen in the tournaments are pretty good except few, and they are targeting pretty well. But just look at him, he charged onto that creep right there, and Holet are trying to stun him at the same time. I don't know what will happen, but just look at the bot lane. That Hylos is trying to cut the lane and dealing a bit damage to that edit, but he is losing out. But he will just heal up. At the same time, I think both the teams are trying to gank their MM. Just look at that Kufra. He is charging in, and the Lolita are trying to counter him at the same time. Even Moscow trying to deal up some damage. And yes, both the teams are poking a lot at this point. Just look at the XP lane. The Hylos again trying to counter, but that Bane has just reached there, so I think he will be looking to attack that Hylos, but no, he is just farming right now.
Yep, he just realized that Hylos is too much of a hassle to really pay attention to, and he just doesn't really mind. And you mind your business, I'll mind my business, and he just proceeded to farm. But Team LCF is really showing their domination, because you can see the EXP laner. He's confident. He has at this point in game 3, he has realized that how the gameplay of the enemy opposing EXP laner is, and since he's comfortable, he's able to do the rotations, do the lane cut. He even did a high cut, I think. So very impressive coming in from Error this time. I think he's also a little bit, hungry for revenge because of how much bullying he received in the early phases. He is charging on to that Kufra. I think it's a really great move, because he is the crowd control for the side of Team ZOHUNT. Most of the resources being wasted. He is charging in with that primal red, but I think he will be taken down by Fanny, and this might be a triple kill. Oh no, it is a double kill, but she decides to retreat as her blue buff is gone, as well as most of her energy. But I think it will be an easy turtle for the side of Team LCF.
Well, absolutely. That was a disaster right there. But I do see that carry getting stunned onto the wall. She uses up her Purify, although I think that Moscow wasn't planning to hit her a lot. I think it was a waste of Purify right there. And just like I said before, that Lom Lom Mai is pretty good with his handling the game, He didn't charge in when the people were in pretty high HP, but when he was sure he can take at least 2 or 3 people down, he did charge in. But at the same time, I see Kufra charging in, but Moscow just dashes away. I think Zohan needs to improve their ganking, because just look at that Lolita. She is just countering. At the same time, she has been stunned onto the wall. The Tyrant Rage coming up and the damage coming from that Lilia, but it's not much of a use right there, because even Bane has come up, but the damage is not enough. And I think that Fanny will be charging onto that carry, just like I said, the cutthroat and those 2 cabling. And look at that cave using her ultimate, throwing them down, dealing that damage. And Moscow as well as Fanny gets the kill. I mean, it's been 3 minutes. Just look at that. 5-0, Ray.
Yeah, and I think giving Lom Lom Mai that Fanny was such, a mistake on their side, and they're facing the consequences of the mistake they just made. Fanny just absolutely dominating on their side. I mean, 5 kills and 4 are under her name. She already has her first item, and she will not be stopped snowballing anytime soon, because it is still just 4 minutes, not even 5. So I think Team ZOHUNT really is in a bad spot right now. They also lose out the outer turret. The damage coming in from Fanny is just way too much. Unstoppable onto Loopsy guys right now. And I think Team ZOHUNT is in a really bad position, and if there are no mistakes coming in from the side of Team LCF, I think they are looking for a smooth sail. Oh, Moscow might be getting kicked off.
Well, absolutely, Ray. That Moscow did get picked off right there, but just look at the first turret from the top lane. It has been taken down at the same time. Eve slowing down that Lilia and that stun connecting onto her. I think they will be looking for a follow up as Hylos just comes charging in like a horse he is. And just look at that. Carry will be trying to dish out some damage, but he is just at the vanguard right now. And that stun coming in along with that ultimate from Eve. I think those people will be taken down. The ultimate from Bane just tries to, dislocate those people, but they couldn't prevent the two casualties at their point. And look at that, she pops up her ult, but I think she will be in a pretty bad position right there. And that Lolita is overextending, so yes, she did get punished. I think that Hylos needs to retreat back at the same time. But just look at that, Zohan doesn't have enough damage. They don't, like, LCF doesn't even need the Moscow to join in for that Hylos to just engage and disengage at this point.
To proceeding to what you said, they do not have enough sufficient damage and they're really falling behind. Team LCF just has a better synergy. If you notice, the side of Team LCF has so much slow building into their arsenal. The Eve, the Hylos, the Lolitas, Numinon Blast, so many slows that the side of Team ZOHUNT is not able to move on from the team fights. They're stuck inside that Eve's ultimate, the real world manipulation, and receiving so much of the damage. Not to mention Fanny coming in, dealing the damage with her blades and her cutthroat, securing the kills. It is not looking good for the side of Team ZOHUNT. And one more thing that I would really like to mention is I think the side of Team LCF has really good itemization compared to Team ZOHUNT, because if people didn't notice, Winspeeder actually prioritizes the first item over a boots, over an enchanted talisman, and that is something I do often, because Mage getting her first item is really important. Like, as you can see, he actually prioritized the Ice Queen 1 over getting the enchanted talisman or even a boot. He was rotating very well, and I think that is what really makes you a good mage, prioritizing the proper items for the ganks and giving you that advantage over the enemy mage who is building the boot, who is building the enchanted talisman, and she will be behind in terms of item as well as damage compared to you. Really impressive to see here.
Well, and at the same time, Ray, I do see ZOHUNT missing out their skills. Their aim is kind of lacking. I think just look at that Fanny. She is trying to go in with the cutthroat, and that Lilia has just been taken down even before she could use her ultimate. And I think that Gary will also be taken down, and that glorious pathway has popped up. But at the same time, real world manipulation takes that Kufra down, and not to mention that Tyrant's Rage didn't help out because both the main damage dealers were already taken down by that Fanny. This is what I was talking about. That Lomlomai knows how to prioritize the picks and when to prioritize. Even though Kufra was there, she just barged in. It's like she knows, I am confident, you cannot hurt me at this point. Just try, just look at my goals, just look at my skills. Oh my god, what a beautiful gameplay coming from the side of LCF, especially that Fanny, and also that respect to all the supports which the entire team is providing.
Yeah, absolutely. Lom Mai on that Fanny is just such a nightmare for the side of... Oh, look at that. Lolita so confident. She knows that the side of ZOHUNT doesn't have sufficient enough damage to melt her down. Look at the shield reflecting most of the attacks that are coming in from that carry as well as the Lilia. And the side of ZOHUNT is forced into the mid lane as they are not even able to come out of the turrets. Look at the Fanny one-shotting that Lilia. Oh my god.
Well, and real world manipulation pops up, and I think that carry will also be taken down. This is what I was talking about, and look at that. I think that Kufra is also in a bad position and he will be taken down. It is trying to deal out some damage, but just look at that Moscow dealing the reverse damage instead. That Hylos just recalling right there. But Ray, absolutely, they have those two tanks with revitalize, so they can cushion up so much damage. And at the same time, Fanny already takes down the mage, he takes down the carry. So yeah, those damage coming from the three people who are left is not much of a significance right there. But I think that Hylos is in a bad position right there. I think he will be taken down, but no, that revitalize pops up, giving some HP, and that flask of Oasis saves his life. Oh my god. Oh, and that's even the ultimate from Bane didn't do anything. They are just there recalling. They are so confident at this point. Just look at that. It's only been 9 minutes into the game. The scoreboard of 15-3, and that poor lead of around 8k. Ray. Oh, what a beautiful gameplay. Utter domination from the side of LCF.
Yep, and the last two games, it felt like Team ZOHUNT had a chance, but giving Lomlom Mai the setting, it looks like a completely one-sided game. Fanny is just one-shotting the damage dealers from the side of Team ZOHUNT, and they cannot do anything about it. They have a Kufra, but Lomlom Mai doesn't care. He just dives in without any issues, taking out the damage dealer, and Error taking that sweet, sweet revenge for taking him down so much in the previous game. He's just taunting, he's just recalling, and look at that. Edith can do nothing about the Lolita. She just has to retreat because that shield will literally make her ultimate utterly useless. And this is what, like I think Team ZOHUNT is really lacking. I don't think like they're lacking in the skills, but I think their draft is just really questionable. They are giving out the Lolita multiple times. I did not understand why they needed an Angela ban, considering Fanny doesn't need Angela because Fanny goes in, comes out. It is more of a Link's playstyle to be, in the team fight longer. So I think the Angela ban was completely wasted. It should have been a Lolita ban. They could have utilized the edit a little bit more, maybe the carry a little bit more. But right now Lolita is disabling them completely, making this gameplay complete one-sided domination. And I think Team LCF will be securing their positions into the finals at this point.
Well, I think so too, but at the same time, this is the first Lord, so I think it will be a pretty easy defense for the side of ZOHUNT, unless they, end up making the same mistakes they have been making before. They should be protecting their mage and their marksmen, and they should be engaging when the skills from the side of LCF have already been used up, and I think, that high loss as well as the Lolita, they are, making them use up all their skills. Just look at that. I think that real world manipulation will be taking that pain down at the same time. The Edit trying to bubble her ult, but at the same time, oh my god, that Kufra has also been taken down and Lord is also charging. They are just looking to heal up from the fountain, but I think they will not be able to hold back that because the Fanny is going in trying to take them down, and as we see, the base's HP has been taken down, and ladies and gentlemen, this is the consecutive third victory for the side of Team LCF.
Victory!
What an utter domination, what a beautiful gameplay and synergy. So Ray, what are your thoughts about this game?
I really don't really have much to say because I think I mean, we have discussed this many times when we cast this tournament together, as well as the other casters we have discussed. 80% of your game is won in the draft phases because you both of the teams, they are skilled players, they are top teams. Obviously, they have knowledge of each other. They play against, they practice so much, so their effort is appreciated. I mean, they have made it to the qualifiers, so they are really good teams. So what matters is your draft. And I think I'm not sure why ZOHUNT night at least their draft was really lacking. I'm not sure if they were feeling intimidated or maybe they were feeling overwhelmed, maybe they were feeling confused, but their draft has been quite poor in my humble opinion because they are taking projectile heroes twice and they are not banning out the Lolita who just immediately countered most of their roster. So it doesn't really matter like how much skilled they are when their heroes are just absolutely getting countered. Not to mention they are not respecting Lomlom Mai's Fanny who just absolutely decimated them. And this was a complete clean sweep by Team LCF who were able to secure the spot into the finals. And I think that will be all for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This was the lower bracket of semifinals, but stay tuned, lady, dear good viewers, because tomorrow it is going to be upper bracket finals. It is going to be Lafu Kabi versus ABM, and we both know how strong both teams are, and we will be there to witness as well as cast for those games, and we'll see what really happens, who takes the spot onto the grand finals. And that is all from me. I'm Ray as well as Asuya, bidding you farewell and good night from me. Asuya, do you have any words for our viewers?
No, nothing. I just hope they can stay tuned for the rest of the matches.
Yep. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back tomorrow with another exciting match. Bye bye.